Question. How do we call him? He gave us a signal.
What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It's your boy Trey of the Bat Channel, and we are live from the Bat Cave for show number 14, I think. Live show number 14. My goodness, it has been crazy. But before we begin, folks, let me bring in my super bro, Corey, and editor. How you doing, big fella?
What is up, guys? It's live show number 14. Are you serious, man?
Live show number 14, sir.
But even more importantly, Monday was 1 year anniversary of when we created the channel. Friday is going to be the 1 year anniversary of the first video, Bat Channel video. So should be super exciting. I'm excited for the Friday show as well. But man, there's been just so much stuff going on, Trey. It's been. I thought we were just going to do a show on Friday, and we couldn't. We had to do a show now. You know.
This weekend was a bit nutty. Which is why I poured myself a glass of beer, because it's going to be drinking times tonight, folks.
And once again, we find ourselves on a Tuesday, and I, just got home from work. So haven't had a chance to really figure out what's going on tonight or what we're going to be talking about. But I don't know if you saw in the chat already, the Release the Snyder guy has asked already, Trey, are you going to talk about the JL motion comic? I can't talk tonight. Hot topic.
Yes, we will. We will talk about it. I know it's a very hot topic right now amongst the community, and we're just going to talk about it, kind of give our 2 cents about it. But I know it has the community divided. But yes, we will be talking about that tonight. Release the Snyder guy. Trevor, man, happy 1 year. Thank you. 1 year already. Yeah, it's been insane. I remember. It's actually kind of funny. Someone commented on one of our videos and said, dude, I'm subscribing simply because you have the Adam West Batman phone. And I remember when I was talking to my dad about it, because he used to do things like this, he used to direct TV shows and stuff like that for the government down in Florida. And when I was telling him about how I want to make my show different and all this stuff, one of the first things I told him about was, I want to get the bat phone. I need to find a bat phone prop from the Adam West series, because we were going to make it this whole skit about picking up the phone and answering when we were getting words of bat wisdom. So it was kind of funny that someone finally noticed, hey, is that Adam West's bat phone? Yeah, it was idea from the very beginning with this show. But yeah, man, crazy 1 year. It has been insane. This Friday we're going to do a cool celebration live stream with everyone, but tonight is also going to be a very special show, simply because Corey, a little later on, we're going to have our boy Fresto Games on.
What? Fresto's joining us tonight? All right, man.
My boy Fresto.
All right.
who is also my brother-in-law, Benjamin. He has his own channel, and he was actually he had a YouTube channel far before I did. So when I was playing with the idea, I was constantly asking him for advice, how's this work? How do you do that? And I mean, clearly I'm only 27, and here this youngling is just teaching me shit, because I'm not tech savvy. But yeah, we're gonna have Fresto Games a little on later. You guys have heard me talking about him. He has his own channel. We'll let him tell you guys about it. But he is also, the way I am with Batman, he's that way with the Flash, like, and more than just that. I mean, he kind of spreads it even to the Marvel stuff. But it's always good to have him on to kind of teach me a thing or two and kind of talk about the stuff I don't know too much about when it comes to the DC world. So I'm excited to have him on a little later for you guys. But first, before we fully begin, you guys make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe, because it always helps us out when you do things like that and helps us further along the progress of this channel and making it better for you guys. Another thing that we are going to have is Super Chat, which, Corey, I know you just found about this a little earlier, but we finally were able to do all this stuff with YouTube, because you have to put in when you get super chats and stuff like that. If you recall on our, oh dear, Corey, what was it? June 21st?
Oh man, that sounds right.
I think
you're talking about the 100th show.
Yes, with the Batfleck movie team.
Yep.
We did a joint stream with the Make the Batfleck movie team, and they came on to talk about the Batfleck movie, and we were also raising money for Feeding America. And with our super chats, you guys donated $125 to Feeding America. Now, YouTube takes 30, it's something like 30% of their cut, but Corey and I had decided to just go ahead and whatever YouTube took out, we were going to put back in. So the other day we donated $125 to Feeding America, and we just have to thank you guys for that. And I heard the Batfleck movie team actually told me that because of that, they had surpassed their halfway mark on their goal for Feeding America. And I think we have over 5,000 meals for people now, because for each dollar, it equals like 10 meals. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much. We're going to do more streams like that, because that's partly why I started this channel, was like, I really wanted to make a difference and to help raise money for things. While Super Chat for tonight helps us, with making our show better for you guys. I think for Friday, we're going to do another fundraiser one. I'm not sure. I haven't decided which fundraiser. There's one personal one that I kind of want to do. But also I was thinking about doing AFSP. So we'll see how that goes. So if you do want to give us a super chat, whether it's to highlight your question, we have a little funny clip to play for you guys anytime you donate to us. But we will definitely show up. If you have a question for us, it's always helpful when you do it through super chat for us to make it priority. And like you said, it always goes a long way to helping our channel out. And we can't thank you guys enough for that. But Corey, okay, so let's go ahead and get to the hot topic of tonight. I know you don't know a ton about this other than when we talked about it our last stream. Let's go ahead and talk about, I think it was released, the Snyder Cut guy asked about the Justice League motion comic. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, spoiler alert, it's been canceled.
So, they have canceled it. So, I haven't got caught up all the way. From my understanding, Trey, correct me if I'm wrong, there's been a question about whether or not they traced the story.
The artwork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, here's what's that, big fella?
Fill me in, big fella.
Fill you in. Okay. First off, I'm super duper disappointed about this. Super disappointed. Corey, you know what to do.
I know what to do.
You know what to do. Hit the
button. Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Disappointed.
I'm actually very sad about this. Just because I thought this was, if you recall, when we talked about this last week when they had just recently announced it, this was a really cool idea to do a motion comic of the Zack Snyder Justice League Dreamscapes storyboards for the sequels of Justice League. Now, we already know Zack has said those storyboards are out of date. They're not what he would do if he was given the opportunity to do his sequels for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So technically, it's kind of just like a fun way for the fans to kind of enjoy what could have been. And they were going to have a wonderful voice cast for it. with Ray Porter. Harry Lennox was going to be in it, who played Martian Manhunter. They had even Sam Benjamin, even like Wonder Meg and Liz Wonder and stuff like that. It was going to be a very cool, fun project. They were doing music for it. Unfortunately, go ahead and go to the next slide, Corey. They ran into a fair issue. And in my personal opinion, guys, Screen Rant, when they came out with this article that said, hey, they are being accused of tracing artwork from artists like Jim Lee, as you guys can see on the left-hand side. On the left side of the artwork, that is original, like Jim Lee, DC professional artist work. On the right-hand side of that panel, it's the artist who was working on the Justice League motion comics. As you can kind of tell, it's pretty damn close. If it's not tracing, it's definitely his reference point. The Wonder Woman practically has the same hair, the same background in terms of, you can see like Themyscira's castle. They have the same poses, which I know that's something that comic book artists do use as a reference point. This is getting borderline kind of, which here's my issue with what was going on with this thing, is when people were starting to see these pieces of artwork, people had their concerns and said, hey, something's not quite right here. And it was, like I said, it was for nonprofit. It was to help with charity, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. But here's kind of some red flags. That's red flag number one of, here's artwork that isn't looking like it's original. And Lightcast, who is the production team that was doing this, they came out with a statement basically saying that, well, let me read it off so I don't misquote them. They said, we've seen a few concerns for Justice League motion comic art. Some of our art is inspired by the drawings of Jim Lee, Jason Fabok, and Ivan Reis. Most of the drawings you'll see on this project will 100% be newly created original art, and we're very excited for y'all to see it. You've only seen 1%. So they were pushing from the beginning that this was going to be 100% original artwork. And when people were seeing this, they were like, well, hold on a second. This isn't 100% original artwork. You're using these characters that, and, you know, really designs from previous artists like Jim Lee, and you're kind of taking it, you got to credit it. And while I'm sure they probably would have credited it in the actual credits of the movie, they probably shouldn't have pressed so hard saying it's original artwork, because I listened to what they had to say on, they actually did a live Twitter like conversation. It was like Lightcast, and I can't remember who else jumped in on the conversation, but they were actually talking about it. And they said when they noticed that there was an issue with the artwork being too closely related to Jim Lee's artwork and Jason Fabok, they started to question him. They questioned their artists. They were asking, like, how's your method? How are you doing this? So even they had concerns. And rather than taking a moment like right there to just come out, rather than come, they came out with a statement too quick to be like, it's 100% artwork, don't worry. When they found out they had concerns, they checked it out, and they found out it's a bit crossing the line. While it's maybe not plagiarism, it's definitely crossing the line. And not only that, like you said, when Screen Rant came out with that article, Screen Rant is a big article, okay? They're a big website. So when Screen Rant got a hold of it, that hit the integrity of this project. It hurt it really bad, to the point where people from the cast were starting to leave. I think it was like Wonder Meg and Liz Wonder, were leaving because, well, here it is. It's, it doesn't look good. They were in the dark. They weren't apparently communicated from the director of the Justice League motion comic project. And it just seems like the communication wasn't really set, and that the team didn't do their research in their artists, but they kind of went into it and they opened up the project to extra artists. But I think once that article came out, Corey, go ahead and go to the next slide. Once that article came out, it was kind of, it was done. People started leaving the project. It was just not, it was one of those things where they didn't get ahead of the problem and the situation, and they didn't address it accordingly. They put too much support, not support, but it's not. Oh my God, Yellow Devil stealing art is on the same level as casting Megan Fox by Corey. Yeah, I agree with that.
Wrong.
Oh my God, Yellow Devil's so funny. But yeah, so because of all that, because they didn't get on top of it, and didn't do their enough research on the artists they had picked for this project. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with the artist. Like, his artwork is clearly it's beautiful, what he was able to do. Unfortunately, using a reference point and almost using it to a freaking shading detail is not quite good. Especially, I mean, if it was one thing where they said, hey, this, I mean, you're going to see a lot of pieces that are kind of like an homage to certain like famous artists like Jim Lee. You're going to see those things. They came out and they were honest and transparent upfront about the artwork. I think it would have been fine. But as they say here, it comes with a heavy heart that we have to announce the Dreamscapes of Justice League, a motion comic, has been officially canceled. As fans of the Snyderverse, we and a group of fellow fans took it upon ourselves to see a continuation of the canceled story of Justice League come to life. With the involvement of actors, artists, musicians, and many others, we all agreed to give our talents and time for free to achieve this goal and support the AFSP charity at the same time. What we did not foresee was the general uneasiness about the project from general public, some rare targeted harassment towards members of the team, the countless legalities we dealt with, ultimately our own mistakes on certain parts of the project. We sincerely apologize to those of you who supported us along the way, and we acknowledge our shortcomings that highlighted by others. All the work on the project has been ceased immediately, with all parties involved agreeing it is for the best. Many thanks to the supporters and those who held us accountable in our faults. So, yeah, so it's a shitty situation. I completely understand this. I mean, Corey and I are working on a project similar to this, with the Hallelujah project, with, Allison Crow. We're working on that. It's tough when it's volunteer work and it's heavy stuff, but the problem is with them leading the charge on this project, you need to know every aspect of what you're going with in this project. You need to know what your artist is doing. The fact that they were just accepting artwork and just going, oh, okay, like cool and good. And they didn't when they said they finally realized that, hey, it was questionable, they should have stopped right there, not cancel the project. And I still think them canceling the project wasn't the best decision. They should have pressed forward and just used other artists, and tweaked it. But being what it was, with them coming out and saying like, hey, this is 100% original artwork, stop stop harassing us. And it wasn't harassment. People were calling them out on, I'm sure there was harassment on some ends of the community, but for the artwork, when people were saying, hey, you have a lot of pieces here that are starting to look a lot like Jim Lee's and Jason Fabak, they should have addressed it accordingly. Corey, I feel like you have something you have to say.
Yeah, can I be honest for a second?
Yeah.
Do you actually think that from the get-go, this fan-made Dreamscapes of the Justice League motion comic was actually going to happen?
Do I think it was going to happen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
because to be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to happen at all. When you said it last week, I was like, oh man, that is really cool. But I had a feeling that was it Warner Brothers that contacted him? Somebody, I feel like this is something higher up, especially since they're talking about the legalese and the legalities of the issues here. So there's copyright infringements of some sort that I think is the major issue. So then how were we supposed to believe that this was ever going to be allowed?
So according to the director who didn't talk about, and this was another issue, is maybe they announced the project too soon, but when they announced it, people had questions because people were worried about this, because unfortunately, while they're putting their stamp on this project and they're putting their own, blood, sweat, and tears into this project, their hard work into it, this was a representation of not only Zach, but it was a representation of our community. So could you say, yeah, people felt like they had a certain say in the project? Maybe, but it still represented the community. So that's why people felt like they needed to make sure that you were doing everything right, because they didn't want this to become a bigger issue like Screen Rant blew it up to.
But here's the issue that I have with that still is, you said that there was going to be some big voice actors, or did he say Ray Porter was going to be a part of this project?
Yeah, Ray Porter was. I think he was narrating it, but
Martian Manhunter, so
something like that. But Matt of Lightcast, who's the director of this project, did say that they apparently did speak to Warner Brothers and got permission. Now, here's how this normally works, because this was interesting, because I also watched an interview with Mighty Pegasus, Victor Koo, who won that, Zack Snyder's Justice League fan poster competition with that really cool Darkseid poster that I have in the back that we did a giveaway with. Now, Victor Koo wasn't a part of this project, which one I think was kind of a mistake if you were going to invite a lot of artists to do this project. But that's fine that they did another direction. But the fact that even Victor Koo was kind of saying, we do see this, and it's kind of shady when they see it at Comic-Cons and artists are trying to sell their arts and they see artists like basically redoing like another person's artwork, like Jim Lee's and stuff like that. It's kind of shady and it's not great. But he says even at that time, Warner Brothers at any moment can stop it. It could be one moment they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead and do it. But you can't monetize it. You can't put ads on the video. You can't promote anything. You can't sell anything. You can't make a profit on it, right? Obviously, this was all for AFSP, according to the people that working on this project, which I'm all for, raising money for AFSP. But at any moment, Warner Brothers could have said, hey, we don't like what you're doing, get out. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if after this article came out from Screen Rant, if Warner Brothers did reach out to Lightcast and said, hey, you're giving us a bad name here because you're not doing what you said you were going to do, which was 100% original artwork. Now, yes, it was based on the storyboards that Jim Lee and Jeff Johns worked on with Zack Snyder when he was developing the stories for the sequel. But still, it's Warner Brothers IP. They get to decide what they want to do with it. And really, it was, I truly feel like that this was a situation that they could have avoided. It was easily avoidable if they just planned better, if they had better communication between the entire team, the voice actors, because once the voice actors saw the article from Screen Rant, like I said, they started dropping like flies. That says some things when the actors are dropping out and they're like, what the hell? Like, I can't support this anymore. That's not good. I'm sad to see this project not continue. I truly felt like even after all that, unless if they were told by Warner Brothers to cease immediately, which is certainly possible. If they weren't, they could have just said, okay, hey, like they said in one of their tweets, like, hey, we are making adjustments to the artwork. We're inviting other people. We're doing this, we're doing that to ensure that is 100% original, art.
See, I would like to actually talk to the people from Lightcast Pod, and
too late. They've dropped their Twitter.
I'm sure, I'm sure they took a lot of heat, but like I said, I never thought that this was going to actually happen. Personally, I was surprised when you said that they had people like Ray Porter and some other really big names that were participating. But here's the thing. I always had this gut feeling that Warner Brothers was going to come in and, stop this project from happening. And to me, I was hoping for, this is a good sign. Yes, they don't have any interest in using and again, this is my mind playing with me. They don't have any interest. Zack Snyder said the story's changed, but in some ways, maybe they were stopping them because they know that they're part of the Zack Snyder community and they don't want them to do anything that could potentially hurt restoring the Snyderverse. So for me, I always thought it was going to be canceled, but I was hopeful that it was be canceled by Warner Brothers. So eventually lead to the larger outcome of, Snyderverse is restored. That's why we're not allowing it. Discovery came in and punched, Hamada a few times, slapped him around, and
oh my God, Corey,
we're going for it.
It is actually kind of interesting that you brought that up, because apparently Warner Brothers has been going around to different like Facebook groups. Like there's a Facebook group that I was a part of called Restore. I think it's literally called Restore the Snyderverse. And apparently Warner Brothers has been blocking or, copywriting any post that anyone's been doing, to the point where that page can't run, and it's ran by fans. It's like a public, or I think it's a private group on Facebook, to the point where at least from the person who runs, the admin that runs that group, said, hey, we have to shut down. So yeah, I mean, there is some truth that Warner Brothers is being dicks about. I mean, look what they did with Zach and that Catwoman and Batman picture, canon. It was his, it was, I guess you could say, original artwork, but it was, they had him take it down anyways, because, hey, that's not what superheroes do.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. How, if, Batman couldn't even get away, and that was Zack Snyder, sharing it. If they couldn't even get away with that, what made you think that this, video was ever going to be possible? Personally, I thought that if they were allowed to do it by Warner Brothers, they were eventually going to cancel it and then tell me that the Snyderverse has been restored. I'm still waiting.
And the release of Snyder Cut guy, man, you have a wonderful point. Yeah, they had a responsibility to the actors to protect their integrity. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was not a good thing to, if they were gonna do this project. And it's kind of, I always feel bad about this, because it's, here I am criticizing someone of how they did something with, like, okay, I wasn't there, I wasn't a part of this, like, I didn't do it, I didn't do this project, so how can I say how I would have done it? They're the ones actually doing it, and I give them credit for wanting to take this on, but when you accept that role of being the director, the producer, whoever's leading this project, you accept the responsibility of your cast members, your crew members, everyone who's working on this project, to handle the situation correctly. And the truth is, they didn't, because it was, I'm not going to get into this portion, because this is where all the drama came. It was literally like, after they posted that they were canceling things, they started like making fun of people, for saying like, well, see, this is not Trace, but it looks exactly like the same. Like, just stop.
Who?
The Lightcast people.
So Lightcast people started making fun of people, or
I mean, making fun of that. They tried it to, it was kind of that weird defending themselves kind of thing, because people were like, see, I told you, you're not doing the project right. And I can understand, they should have, honestly, it should have been just like, okay, it's canceled. Stay quiet about it. Stay cool about it. And they kind of let it get the better of them. And they started kind of, like I said, harassment on both sides of the fandom. And it's really
shit, they started firing shots at the community as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, one of them being my boy Sil Abdul, so. Oh
really? So they started firing shots at him too, huh?
They have a long history with all that shit, so I mean, it makes sense. But like, it no matter what, it's sad that the project didn't move forward, because it was, hopefully they did have the best intentions with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and I think it really would have been a really cool project for the community, something to kind of get excited about it and help restore the Snyderverse and keep the, I mean, think about it, this could have gone a different way. Screen Rant did come out with an article, I think a week before, saying the fans are doing a Justice League motion comic. It was getting good press. And then because of that, it was easy to throw it on the other end. It could have been a great, article that Screen Rant came out with, saying like, cool original artwork, Justice League motion comic has over 1 million views on YouTube. It could have been that. It could have actually helped restore the Snyderverse. And not only that, let's say Warner Brothers did take it down, because it was doing so well on YouTube and it was raising a shit ton of money for AFSP and it was getting all this good press. Warner Brothers doesn't want that either. So if they did take it down, that would have rallied the community. It would have rallied the community to go after them and to blow up hashtag restore the Snyderverse even more. Instead, we're now playing this game with each other, where we it's divided us. It's all that bullshit, and it's sad, but I'm sad that it didn't continue on. Lucas Ironside said they should have been honest from the beginning. You're absolutely right, Lucas. And that's the part that makes me so mad. I'm like I said, I don't want to get too much into the afterwards portion, because I think it's silly, it's petty. But the fact that they didn't, just take it. They canceled it, right? They made the decision to cancel it, but they started pointing the finger and blaming people for the reason, when the truth was it starts with them. It does. In this case, it starts with them. They should have been honest from the get-go about their artwork. And not only that, if they did started to have concerns with their artists, they should have stopped right there and never released the photos that they did. If they really had so much more artwork that we hadn't seen, that we've only seen 1%, then why did you release the ones that look almost exactly like Jim Lee's work? They should, as the person who was leading the charge on that project, they should have said, hold on, wait a second. This is not what we promised. What up, Breezy Beast? Good to see you, man. Glad to have you here.
But I guess that's the biggest thing for me. I think if it was, to be honest, freaking stick figures of the cast, I think the fact that, in my opinion, that they were doing something along the lines of restoring the Snyderverse, giving the fans kind of what they wanted, as well as they had some major involvement with the stars that caused major issues for them too. I'm curious if even if they did do it right, would they still have let it?
Well, that's why I say it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if they did it right and it came out, or if it was stopped by Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. That would have furthered the cause of restore the Snyderverse, because then it would have been, look at evil Warner Brothers, right? It would have rallied the community to a whole new level. The downfall of this project is unfortunately on the leaders of the project.
For sure.
And that, it has nothing to do with the cast. The cast is wonderful. I'm not even going to fully throw it on the artist, because the artist is just doing his job, right? He's just trying to crank out artwork as fast as possible. They were planning on releasing this thing by Q3. And what up, Nathan? Good to see you, man. They were planning on releasing this by Q3. So the artist is trying to crank out shit faster than possible. And they should have realized when he was sending in artwork that it goes, I'm not sure about this. Like, can we tweak it? How did you do this? They really should have done their research, and they didn't. They just said, this is a cool project. People are going to love it. And they didn't think about the details that you really have to consider with something like this.
For sure. And do and that's why I'm curious in some ways too, because, you've talked to Allison Crow herself, you've talked to her manager, and you've talked to some of the other people who are participating in it. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of detail and information from those people, and I have a hard time believing that some of those people who are in the industry didn't say, hey, well, did he get this approved by that? Did he do this for that before?
Oh, you're saying like Ray Porter saying to them, like, hey, like, I mean, Ray is just a good guy. He's just trying to like do things nice for the community. And it's situations, it's kind of this crazy drama that has kind of pushed him away from the community, where he has said like, hey, I don't want to do stuff anymore because this is, again, too out of hand. So it's sad that this whole thing.
So that's what that tweet was about from Ray.
Oh, that one that you saw of Ray. Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't about this particular topic, but I mean, I'm sure it was a mixture of things. Ray was just being so involved in whatever the community was doing, and people were really just getting, too friendly with Ray about it. Mm-hmm. And it needed to stop. There needed to be a professional courtesy to him, and people didn't allow that, because Ray just is a super approachable guy. So they felt like they could go up and interject him in any conversation that had nothing to do with him. But my man Yellow Devil says, question, why did the project not stop when the members had seen the art looks like the comics? Are none of the comic book readers? Damn. Yellow Devil, I wondered the same exact thing when they were receiving some of that artwork. Now, granted, when I first saw, I think when we did our stream last week, I think the only one I saw was the Green Lantern one and the Batman one. And I don't know the Green Lantern comic so much, so I wouldn't have been able to tell John Stewart was pulled out of something. The Batman one, they did just different enough to where, I mean, it's a typical Batman pose on a gargoyle. You've seen that everywhere. But if you put it side by side with other ones, you're kind of like, yeah, they kind of got the pose from it. But because it's Batfleck's armor and it's not quite Jim Lee's, you could say maybe not. But yeah, when they were like, according to them on their Twitter live thing, I was listening in and they said, yeah, we started to have some concerns when we saw the artwork. And it's like, then why did you release it? Why did you give it to other people to release it and say, hey, look how cool Justice League motion comic is? If you had concerns, you should have looked at it from that moment and said, something's not right here. Let's go to the artist and say, hey, bud, like show us your process. And then when they did do that, they should have, rather than coming out and saying it's 100% original artwork, they should have said, hey, we've taken in your concerns. They should have just followed that one statement they had where they were like, we're making adjustments to the arts to ensure the 100% originality of the artwork. They didn't do that. So that's why I say this is really on them.
For sure.
It's an easily avoidable issue that they had, and they let it get the best of them. They didn't do enough damage control. In fact, they made the damage worse, and therefore they canceled, because people were like, I'm out. And rightfully so, it's volunteer free work. They're like, I don't need this shit. Lucas
and deleted their Twitter.
Yeah. Lucas Ironside said, Matthew said it was original art. Clearly it wasn't. They keep blaming other people rather than themselves. That's the issue I have with how they're handling this situation. And the fact that, like I said, I'm not for bullying. You guys know that. Like, I don't like when people are harassed. I try to keep things peaceful and positive, but in this case, and I'm not saying in this case it was fine. No, the fact that they, got rid of their Twitter and they've shut things down. I'm sure they were getting a lot of harassment, and it's tough. YouTube is hard. Social media is tough, on anyone's mental health, and you need a break sometime. But at the same time, it's like, if there was no wrongdoing and if you were on the right path, this was a great project, which it was, just wasn't handled correctly, then press on.
But if they're firing shots at other people, then
that was
you're opening it up to get shot back at.
Oh yeah, that was the wrong move. People had legitimate concerns and questions that they kept saying, "Just wait, we'll release information." And they weren't releasing. They should have planned all this out before they announced the project. It really should have been set in stone of what they were going to do. Breezy B says, "When you have to get mad. Don't hold it in." Yeah,
you wouldn't like me when I'm angry,
right? Yeah. But Lucas Ironside, he blocked me because I questioned the motion comic. Oh, really? Out of curiosity, Lucas Ironside, we're going to move on soon here because I want to get to our boy Fresto Games and talk about some DC news with you guys. But out of curiosity, Lucas Ironside, what did you ask? If it's appropriate, I'd be curious to see. But no, in my opinion, people ask legitimately fair questions, and they took it as attacks. Which you shouldn't take it as attack. If people have questions about the project, you should invite information like, yes, we want to tell you all about it because you're proud of it. If you're proud of it, then what's the problem? Yellow Devil says, no bullies, Trey disavowed me.
Want me to put him in timeout?
Yellow Devil, you're like a funny, I don't know. You're just funny about it though. I feel like you don't actually mean it to like hurt somebody other than Megan Fox. Probably should never have Megan Fox on this show.
Hey, you don't say that.
Oh, we shouldn't say that, Corey. You know what to play. If someone needs to shut up,
I need to. Yeah.
Where are you going, Super Bro?
Man, I told you what. I didn't have time to prepare too much.
Shut up, bitch! Oh my god!
I had to find it real quick.
Oh man, that's so funny. Hey, did Lucas Ironside ever respond?
He did. Sean, what's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean, how's it going, man? Glad to have you here again. It's good to see you. Lucas said, I asked why the artwork looks similar to Jim Lee's work. Maybe he took that as harassment. See, that's a simple question, right? A simple and even if they didn't know the answer to it, I mean, this is just customer service, right? If you look at that and you say, okay, well, hey, we actually didn't notice, let us go back to the artist and we'll get back with you.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But instead they came out, they took the defensive route and said, it's 100% original artwork. Shut up and enjoy it. And it was like, well, they, like I said,
So shut up, bitch. Oh my god.
Oh man, they really should have just said, hey, we're looking into it, guys, and then came out with that one statement that said we're making adjustments. Instead, they took the defensive route, and then when they canceled, they didn't take it well. I'll just say that. Okay, so our release the Snyder Cut guy. That's how I feel about the Justice League motion comic. I'm sad that it was canceled. I thought it was a really cool project and would further the cause of restoring the Snyderverse. Unfortunately, I just think the wrong people were leading the charge on it. Sean Franklin says, you think Rocksteady Games do Superman video game? They are doing that Suicide Squad game. If I recall,
Really?
Rocksteady is the same ones that did Arkham Knight, which is going to have Superman as the bad guy. Well, kind of, it's Brainiac technically, but Superman it's going to be like an all-inclusive game. But you know what? I'm not sure what it's doing because they came out with a trailer back at DC Fandom, and since then, no one has heard a damn thing about it. So I wonder if they're having issues, or because Warner Brothers Games at one point was planning on selling off that whole department of the gaming department. So we'll see. Great question, Sean. All right, Corey, are you ready to get into the main stuff of the DC Films update?
Yeah, absolutely. I am.
Okay, but before we got to bring in someone special. I've been wanting to have him on our show for a very long time because, like I said, he inspired me to get into YouTube and really helped me out in the very beginning. But let us welcome, first off, Corey, you know what to do.
Do we have a special guest?
We have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Fresto Games, Ben. What's up, bro?
Was not expecting the Space Jam. Hello,
What's up?
Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries.
Oh,
you
look
gotta
at that.
be like that. You gotta be like that.
And he's wearing the Flash hat and the Flash shirt, and he has all the goodies back there. I dig it.
When did I get you that for Christmas, Ben?
Was
Was that a couple of years ago?
I think it was 2018. I think it was the first.
It might have been right after
we
Justice
back.
League. Yeah.
Yeah.
Justice League.
It's a tight hat. Such a tight hat.
So my
more ways
man,
than one.
Fresto, dude, it's good to have you here finally after all this time.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, brother. Like, tell the audience. I know who you are, obviously, and so does Corey. But
Yeah. Camera keeps shaking. Hello. My name is Ben. Online I go by Fresto Games. I on my YouTube channel play video games, as my name suggests, and mostly right now I'm just having fun playing some Yu-Gi-Oh with my friend. It comes out every Saturday, and I'm working on other projects in between. Just trying to live life. Finish college. Yeah.
Nice, man. Out of curiosity, how long ago did you start your YouTube channel, Ben?
My YouTube. Give me a second. I will pull that up.
Comic Book Craig Movie says, "Hey, you guys, how's it going? Hey, man, Comic Book Craig's. Thank you so much. You posted something where I really did appreciate, and honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. It gave me a sense of responsibility tonight. You posted about how positive our channel is. And I knew we were going to be talking about this Justice League motion comic thing tonight. And I was a little bit worried because I know it's a hot topic and I have a certain opinion on it. And I appreciate you posting and putting in our channel saying that it's you love it because it's positive and it stays pretty positive. And it just reminded me that, like, hey, like, even though I'm kind of upset with how things went down with this whole light cast thing, it just kind of reminded me to be who I am naturally, which is tend to look at the positives but also be honest with people. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you. So yeah,
always look on the bright side of life.
Corey's PG-13 back. Oh my God, Yellow Devil. No. Fresto can stop the Hamada slander. Corey, stop me. Oh my God. Presto, if you're not used to it, Yellow Devil is like our hilarious troll. He's just so funny. So, but how long ago did you start your channel, bro?
Well, according to the About page on YouTube, I started my channel on February 17th of 2014, so it's been a little over 7 years now.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. But you were starting it back like when you were in freaking middle school, right?
Yeah.
Damn. that's crazy cool. Oh man, if you guys want to check out his channel, I did put a link in the description below so that you can go ahead and go and subscribe to him, because I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot when I was like in middle school and high school. And then obviously I just got into comics and it took over my life. But watching Ben play Yu-Gi-Oh kind of reminds me of the good old days. And then he starts like talking about like, well, they remade Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Super. And I'm like, just shut up. Like, stop making me feel old. So it's good to have you here, man.
I am quite good at doing that.
Out of curiosity, so you're a big Flash fan. I know you watched the CW show and everything. How do you feel? Maybe I should wait for this. I'll ask this first. How do you feel about the cinematic Flash, with Ezra Miller so far?
That's a tricky question. I guess it depends on which version of Justice League you're talking about, because that's really the only movies you're seeing him. If you're talking about Justice League, and I did not like it very much at all. If we're talking about Snyder Cut, it was phenomenal. I loved it. Okay,
so out of curiosity, I saw on a trailer, well, not a trailer, a reaction to at the Speed Force scene, at the end. One dude was like tearing up, watching it, because to him it was like one of the most beautiful things he's ever seen for his favorite character, Flash. Was that kind of like a similar response?
If I remember correctly, I do believe there were a few tears shed at that scene.
Yeah, it was
when we first watched the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I mean,
you crying, bro?
Shut up, Corey. I cry every time I watch Batman v Superman, the very beginning, with the beautiful Hans Zimmer team. It's just the way it is. Comic Book Craig Movie says, Penny, it is the things you love that make you who you are. Well, I guess that makes me. Oh. was that a Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, that was a Big Bang Theory reference.
The man is the king of hats. Who is
Trevor? You are Trey.
You are Trey.
Yeah. You hooked up, me with the Superman hat. I should have worn my cool Superman hat today. He's rocking the Flash hat. You hooked up Comic Book John with the Aquaman hat. Plus, you're always wearing a ball and cap, so you got it, big fella.
Hey, man, I dig. I mean, it's because I have a bald head. There's nothing fun about it, so I put cool hats on it. Lucas Iron says, I keep rewatching that scene over and over. It's so
same.
The music by Junkie XL is fantastic. There,
Should I show you what scene I watch all the time, Trey?
Sure, go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, this is for you, Fresto. Damn, that boy be fire.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
yeah, I mean, I do like that scene. And while Barry did technically lose that fight, the fact that kind of the fact that he was moving in normal speed while Superman was still in slow motion just goes to show Superman will never be as fast as the Flash.
Damn. Corey, I mean, that he just basically told you to F yourself. You know what to play.
Yeah, you're right.
So shut up, bitch. Oh my God.
I was going to say this one, Corey.
It means I'll go fuck yourself.
Oh man, Ben, it's like so good to have you finally on this show.
Yeah, it's good to be here, just hanging out.
Hell yeah, dude,
having fun.
Evil
Superman. Peak Superman. OP Superman.
Yeah.
OP.
Okay. So let's get into some of our DCEU updates. Ben, I know you've been kind of following a little bit of it just because you hear from me a lot about what's kind of going on. But have you guys heard that last week the Black Adam with Dwayne Johnson has finished filming?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It is filming.
It is wrapped filming. I mean, of course, it'll probably go through some reshoots. So, I mean, that's just a typical thing that happens, unless if it's Justice League where it reshoots like 75% of it. But Dwayne Johnson went on to say he did like this little cool thing for the cast and crew, and he said, "This has been once in a lifetime for me. Black Adam. It is a career definer for me. I will never forget this experience on Black Adam, and I can't wait for the world to see Black Adam." Man, and of course he was covered up, so we didn't get a look at his suit. Damn him. But he has started to, I don't know if you've heard about this, Ben, but he has started to do interviews for and like press tours for, oh gosh, Jungle Cruise with, I think, Emily Blunt. Yeah.
Yes, Emily Blunt.
And they asked him about the suit, and people were like, "Is it true that you're not wearing muscle padding?" Because like with every superhero suit, practically nowadays, comes with a little bit of muscle padding and definition, so you look more superhero, right? He, of course, said, "Hell no, I'm not wearing a muscle padding. It's going to be all me."
Well, that's not surprising. Man is jacked.
Right. To me, that's part of like one of the most exciting things about the Black Adam movie is other than the JSA with Dr. Fate and Hawkman and Atom Smasher, I really want to see the suit and just see like what it looks like without muscle padding. Like, how would they get the texture of the suit? And I'm sure it's like spandex, but like, are you excited for the Black Adam movie?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like The Rock, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Mr. Johnson, as an actor. I think of almost every movie that he's been in that I've seen, I have thoroughly enjoyed.
Me too. Me too. No?
It's just like Warner Brothers is smart, right? Like you attach Dwayne Johnson to anything, it usually means big dollars. With like the Fast and the Furious franchise, with the Jumanji series that he's been doing. I mean, it's been really, really insane. Me personally, I think one of the things I'm most excited for is to see Dr. Fate, like a cinematic Dr. Fate. I know we've seen it kind of in Smallville and some other, Justice League Unlimited shows and stuff like that, but to see a cinematic, I'm not sure about Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, but I think he'll do a good job. Don't you?
Oh, I didn't know that. It's Pierce Brosnan?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Corey. Didn't you know? You know who Pierce Brosnan is, right? He played James Bond.
Are you asking me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry. I wasn't sure if Fresto.
Sorry, I didn't. I have a hard time with names, but
You're
pictures. I know exactly who that is.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's your mom's favorite James Bond.
Yeah.
Really? Pierce
Yeah.
Brosnan?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Daniel Craig is good. I mean, Henry Cavill could be greater. I'm just kidding.
No, don't get me wrong. I like Pierce Brosnan. I thought he was a good one. I have to stick with Dad on this one with Roger Moore. Roger Moore and Sean
I
Connery.
would say Roger Moore, but I think Black Adam is just going to be a super. I think it's going to be a great film because, one, according to a lot of sources, like with Geekosity and some other people, I think even Grace Randolph has talked about this, but she has said that Dwayne Johnson like really loved the Snyder Cut, really loved the Snyderverse, and that he wants his Black Adam to be a part of that universe. He wants to fight Henry Cavill at some point with the Superman, and I think at some point he would love to see a Justice League fight with maybe against the JSA. What do you think of that, Fresto? Like, what would you think of a JSA versus Justice League movie?
That would be interesting to watch because, as far as I'm aware, the JSA and the JLA have never existed side by side in the comics because JSA was more of the, I want to say it's the Golden Age, while JLA was more Silver and Bronze Age.
So
yeah. Yes, and like everything, like seeing them side by side has always had to do with like time travel and like every now and then a throwback to the olden days of comics.
Yeah, because Jay Garrick is usually in that group, right, of the JSA?
Yes. So like with the JSA, that's like Jay Garrick, Alan Scott's Green Lantern. That's all I can think of right now. Are like the main members that I see on a Starman.
Oh, okay. Oh, Starman, who is, the father of Stargirl, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. If I recall?
I think in the current CW show, that's how they went with it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's always their relationship.
I'm trying to think if that was the same story in Smallville as well.
No, he was just in Smallville. He was just her mentor.
Just a mentor. Okay. Yeah.
Somebody say Smallville?
No, Corey. You got a problem, man. I'm going to have to send.
Somebody save me. Let your warm hands break right through. Somebody save me. Don't care.
Oh,
I love that song. That song is amazing.
Me too. Me too.
Ben, did you ever finish Smallville? Because I knew you were rewatching it.
We were, yes. This is technically, I think this is my third time going through it, and we have not gotten around to finishing it.
Gotcha.
We're in episode 6 of season 10.
Yeah. Smallville's a classic, right? And I'm curious to see. I don't know if you heard about this, Ben. Let this nostalgia flow through. Hell yeah, Smallville's the shiznit. Hell yeah,
it is the shiznit.
There was one thing that was missing in Smallville, though, and that was clearly a night of vengeance, of darkness.
Seems about right.
No, I thought it was good without him.
I'm pretty sure his name is Batman. But you know what? Once Batman gets in, they take away the word Smallville. It's now the Gotham show. So
I think it just proves the fact that Batman is hero support, in the sense that he comes in to save the day with the cash.
I'm sorry, Corey. What did you say? What is Batman? What do you think Batman is? Hero support.
Is that what you think? That's exactly. It doesn't matter what you think.
Oh man. Hey. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Hey, I'm actually super excited for the Black Adam in terms of like the future DC films. I think Black Adam and the Batman are kind of the ones I'm interested in seeing. I'm sure for you, Fresto, it's probably the Flash film.
Sorry, I was reading that. I was reading that.
He did get a question. So
I did get a devil. Okay,
so I didn't hear what you said.
So Megan,
that is a good question. I think a good one, which seems like we'll be getting, is Flash and Batman, because a big part of the early story in the Rebirth was how Barry always felt like Bruce was the only one who truly got him, because they could go back and forth with their detective, their crime scene, CSI mindset. And so when it came to superhero work, they were really the only two that delved that way into it. And so Barry felt this connection with Bruce and all that. So Flash and Batman is just a dream team.
And Batman could use the help. So
favorite Flash comic? That is a good one. What is my favorite Flash comic? When it comes to the comics, I've really only read the new Rebirth stuff. I've looked into and watched the comic historian of all of a lot of the past storylines. I thought I had more. Do I not have it up here? Is it in my box? I think it might be in my box. Oh, favorite Flash comic, Flashpoint, easy.
Oh, with Jeff John. Well, we won't let you go too much into that because I want you to kind of elaborate in our later topic. But the release of Snyder Cut guy.
What?
$10? Thank you, sir. Did you have a question with that? I mean, usually, hey man, if you just want to give us $10,
he did. So
first, okay.
First, we got to hit the theme,
Super
right?
chat.
We got super chat.
Give it to us.
I love this one.
That's so funny. So what was the release of Snyder Cut guy's question?
Yeah, so he's asked, what do you think of the CW Flash?
What do I think of the CW Flash? It was what got me into the character. Because of course I grew up as my father, huge Marvel fan. In fact, my name Benjamin comes from the Thing from the Fantastic Four, whose real name is Benjamin Grimm. I was named after that comic book character. And so I grew up with Marvel almost entirely. And then I think the first DC thing I saw was The Dark Knight Rises.
Really?
From the Dark Knight trilogy. And then, of course, the Arrow show came out. And then the Flash show came out. And that's where I fell in love with the character. So it holds a special place in my heart. Of course, it has it's had its moments. I am enjoying where they're taking it because I haven't finished the current season and I'm probably gonna have to wait for it to come out on Netflix. But where I did get to it in, it seemed like they were doing the Force War storyline, and that's something I really enjoy, which is where I currently am in the comics because I haven't read it in a while. So I've just been super excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ben knows I used to watch CW The Flash, and I liked, man, it's so tough with CW. I kind of fell out of love with CW, me personally, because I was watching, the first show was Arrow, right? And Arrow was like, first 2 seasons were like, yes. Third season, you were kind of like, okay, is he freaking Arrow or is he Batman? Because they started giving that whole like Ra's al Ghul, Deathstroke storyline, and then it was like, finally, it became like, I know Ben's gonna hate this comment. It became like Pokemon to me, where like you knew Team Rocket was gonna show up at some point in the episode and try to take Pikachu, and then they would be blasting off again. And it was just the same thing over and over and over again.
That's fair.
Arrow was like that for me, to where it was like, you knew at some point he was going to betray the trust of the people that love him. And he was always going to be like, don't you see what I'm trying to do? And then Felicity would always be like, you don't get to do that, Oliver. Like, you knew it was going to happen like almost every episode. And it was like, good God, like this is a show that just needs to die. But I felt like they gave him a great ending. I liked where the show ended finally. And with the Flash, I think Arrow just kind of put me off because I was watching the Flash and I felt like out of all the CW shows, Flash was like one of the most solid ones of them all. It's the Flash. You can't go wrong, right? Like, it was pretty good. Corey, you probably haven't watched any of the CW shows.
Well, yeah. So
that's fine.
I've watched bits and pieces of it. I guess Smallville was CW, so does that count?
Technically, I guess it does. And it did end like Smallville ended in 2011, and then Arrow started in 2012. So there was like a year gap.
And for me, I like I've said on other things before, and I know it's probably not going to work for being on this channel, so I'm going to have to just start biting it and start watching the shows as they come out. I'm very particular to being able to watch a show and be able to finish it. I'm tired of these executives and people like it's Warner Brothers is killing me with the release of the Snyderverse, and now they're killing me with Manifest. How do you end on a cliffhanger like that? It's just so frustrating for me So I like to be able to know that there's an end. So even with Lost, I know you dislike Lost, Trey, because it has a crazy ending, and I know people disliked Sopranos. At least it had an ending. Although I think Sopranos ended on a cliffhanger, didn't they?
It kind of did, but I didn't care because "Don't Stop Believin'" started playing, and that's like one of my favorite songs of all time. So like, whatever.
But I will start watching. I know I get a lot of crap for not watching. The most updated Superman related shows. So
I think I know how you feel though, Corey. It's kind of like,
Oh, damn the devil! Damn the devil to hell! Oh, shoot!
yes, exactly like that.
hey man, I feel you. Save manifest.
This is what This is what Trevor says. He's like, Corey, have you watched Superman and Lois yet? I have not, but because I'm on the show with you every week. Yeah. I'm going to break my rule, and I will start watching it sooner rather than later. I want to finish Smallville first, and then I'll jump back into it. But yeah, no, I can't let another manifest thing happen to me.
Well, we'll do our best, Corey. Look at that. You get so much support.
So many,
everyone's like hashtag save manifest.
I love them all.
Well, hey man, let's go ahead and get back to the show.
Thank you again, Release the Snyder Cut guy, for the super chat though. We much appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah,
that was very, very kind of you, and great question. Really do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and go to the next DC film update. This one is kind of interesting, but Jason Momoa is apparently talking about going blonde for Aquaman 2. Guys, initial impression, reactions. Fresto, we'll start with you.
Okay. So initial reactions. I did see the Instagram post about him talking about getting a makeover done for a more comic accurate look. And first impressions, I'm excited. I will save my full judgment for when I see him as a blonde.
Out of curiosity, do you think he's going to be short hair blonde, like kind of like the original comics, or do you think he's going to keep the long?
That was going to be my question as well.
I would be. So the Instagram post that I saw, which was a video of him that I didn't like fully watch, was a video of him. He did have a pair of scissors in his hand, so I wouldn't be surprised if he walked out with short hair. I just can't imagine Jason Momoa with short hair.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, he used to be apparently a male model before he became an actor. And he did the whole like short, spiky hair thing. And he actually looks pretty good with it. So I think he could pull it off if he did it that way. I saw someone had like some fan art. And in fact, I think maybe I didn't put it on. I think it was on the thumbnail with him kind of having the spiky hair, but yeah, the women will love him no matter what. I mean, it's Jason Momoa. The dude is cool, and he drinks Guinness beer, so I respect him even more. Fresto, what did you think of the first Aquaman movie?
First Aquaman movie?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. It came out. When did it come out? It came out
2018.
2018?
December of 2018.
Was it the first one that came out after Justice League? Or was Shazam the first one that came out after Justice League?
No, I think Shazam was 2019, so I think it was Shazam.
So
I mean, sorry,
Aquaman.
It was Aquaman. Aquaman was December 2018. Shazam, I think, was like May of 2019.
Okay. So after Justice League, I did not have high hopes, and so I went in and I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed Aquaman a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was good.
I think it was kind of, for me, I think it was kind of similar to Avatar in a way, and not the Last Airbender.
I hope not.
But the like James Cameron Avatar film where it was like visually stunning. I think there was a few. They took some like comedic moments that I thought were like unnecessary, like when they were walking out of the ocean and they're starting to play that Pitbull song or Mr. Worldwide. I didn't think that was like necessary. It kind of like killed the moment almost. I think the biggest issue I have with Aquaman is Mira, and not because of the drama behind Amber Heard. Like take that out. Other than, yeah, we all know about that. Simply the character Mira, of how she plays it from Justice League to Aquaman, where she's English accent, well, kind of light English accent. She's English light in Justice League. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, she's like Elvish, English, very heavy on the English. And then in Aquaman, American. What's your thoughts on that, Fresto?
It gave me whiplash. Like, the hearing the very British accent in the Snyder cut gave me whiplash, because I mean, I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't remember the slightly British from Justice League, and so changing from the completely American to British was confusing, just to put it simply.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like an interesting thing. Like, why did James Wan do that? Like he Justice League obviously would have come out, and then even Zack Snyder's Justice League, he would have known, because he said he worked with Zack on Aquaman. Where was he like, yeah, she's going to be American now? Like, what? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Apparently James Wan has said,
camera has died.
Whoops. Did you lose connection, bud?
Give me a second.
Yeah, it
no
sounds
worries.
like his camera died for a second.
Oh, darn. It sounds like James Wan, this will be his last Aquaman film. Apparently, he says he doesn't like to do more than 2 sequels. Like, he does 1, he does 2, and then 3, he's like, he gets bored with it. So that's kind of sad, because I think he has done a really good job with Aquaman. I mean, think about it. Aquaman, like, Corey, I mean, you remember Dad, if we said Aquaman, he would have laughed and been like the crappy cartoon, but because of Jason Momoa and Zack Snyder, they really took Aquaman to a whole new level and made him like a super, like, he's a superstar in the Justice League now. So you owe a lot of credit to that. But
yeah, to be honest with you, I think the casting of Jason Momoa definitely helped push Aquaman as a comic book hero, in my opinion. Wouldn't you say, Trey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I just read an article that said for the first time Batman wasn't the #1 selling comic. It was like a manga thing.
Wow.
Which is interesting. Like, I mean, I don't think that's anything to be worried about for Batman, because I mean, it was 2020. DC was kind of did some weird distribution things with their company, so it makes sense why you would have issues selling comics. And there wasn't really a huge comic event other than New Future State Batman, which wasn't even Bruce Wayne, but they did do the detective Batman, which was an interesting storyline. I mean, yeah, I mean, 2020 was just a weird year, I feel like. So I don't know if we can obviously count it for any type of record being set, but kind of interesting.
I have to be honest with you though, the short hair Jason Momoa looks fine. I thought it would be like, holy cow, what did he do? That type right? Did you Photoshop that, or did you find that?
I think someone took an old picture of him and then put it on top of I think that's from Injustice video game. Aquaman.
Okay. So here's a comic. Here's a theory for you. Comic Book Crag movie says, here's a theory on the accent. When she enters Atlantis, she loses her accent. And then I love this one too, Trey. Corey, they found Mira in your house when the cops were looking for my kidnapper. You can keep the Amber, but let me go. you know what, Trey? You know what, Trey? What about Megan Fox being recasted as that?
You gotta get off the Megan Fox thing, dude. I don't know what it is about you and Megan Fox. She's not a good actress.
No, I feel bad for her. She's I feel like she's
dating Machine Gun Kelly. What's there to feel bad about?
Well, okay, yeah, MGK is trash, but
rap devil, I'm a rap god.
Yeah. I think he tried, right? He tried with Rap Devil, or Eminem slayed him with Kill Shot. But I don't know too much about Megan Fox. Obviously, I saw her in the Transformers and different things like that. But I do appreciate that she is a comic book fan. I do appreciate that she reads comic books. So I'd be very curious to see how
reads
she would.
Comics?
Yeah, she's like super into like comics and stuff like that. Supposedly, at least that's what the article said. And
because of the pictures, she likes. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, it's a pop-up.
I'm sure she's fairly intelligent. I mean, my only issue with who would be a better Mira than even Amber Heard? I think Emilia Clarke.
Blunt? Oh
no, is it Emilia Clarke? Maybe it's Emilia Clarke, the girl who was Daenerys in Game of Thrones. Someone did artwork where she has red hair, and it's like, yeah, she'd be perfect for a replacement. And she's worked with Jason Momoa, so why not that? But Corey, you need to get off the Megan Fox.
You know what? I hope she does call me one day, because I'm still going to continue to show her support. Because literally the day after everybody was kind of trashing her, she came out and said, "I'm thinking about leaving Hollywood because everybody's so mean." Come on, man.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't want to. Damn, way to make me feel bad about it, Corey.
I'm going to use whatever I can to sell Megan Fox as something and it doesn't have to be DC. If we're so protective of DC films that we don't want her involved, that's fine. I still think she should get a chance in something, and because if she truly is a comic book nerd, then I would be curious to see how she would portray one of her favorite comic books. So, I think somebody earlier said, what do you think of the Batgirl casting?
We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that. So, Corey, you're telling me you think Megan Fox would be a good Mira?
Yeah,
Is that what you think? That's exactly. It doesn't matter what you think. Oh, damn the devil! Damn the devil to hell! Oh! Disappointed!
Oh man, that's so funny.
But you know what I'm saying. You want to see the people who support comics actually be the people, just like Zack Snyder, for example. He loves the comic books. He loves the characters. He loves it.
Yeah, it's always better when you have someone that loves the comics doing the superhero movie. I always feel that way, because they're going to pull from things that are going to please the comic book reader, I mean, like Zach does. But what up, Zachary? How you doing, man? It's good to see you here. Fresto, are you back on, or can you hear us?
I'm here. My camera has died, so this is what we're going with.
Hey, it works. It will take it no matter what. Nathan says she could play Zatanna or Huntress. Huntress would be dope. Zatanna, I really want. Oh God, what's that girl's? Damn, I'm totally spacing. She was in a movie with The Rock, San Andreas.
Oh yes.
Dad would hate me right now because he finds her so beautiful. Damn, I can't think of it. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
I think Zatanna is a good one.
Maybe, but God,
Carla.
No, not Carla Gugino. I think Carla Gugino, Zach had planned for her to be Catwoman with Ben
Alexandra Daddario.
Yes, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. Thank you, Fresto, for looking that up. But yeah, so I think blonde hair Aquaman could be really, really cool. We'll see. I mean, it's the Lost Kingdom, which was a plan that Zach had for a future Zack Snyder's Justice League sequel. So I think that's kind of interesting. But I mean, I'm excited. I liked even how they did the suit of Key Norm in Aquaman. I mean, I think it'll be a cool, visually stunning film. We'll see how it goes. I know James Cameron's really pushing the underwater world with was it Pangea? Is that the world in Avatar? I can't remember. Or wait, no, Pangea, right? I don't know.
Okay. Before we get to Zach's thing, look what he said. So Yellow Devil coming in clutch. Just researched it. Megan Fox legit read indie comics and the Fables in Constantine imprint from DC Vertigo. That is intriguing.
Man, you're getting Yellow Devil to change his mind about Megan Fox.
Yes, he's gonna. Yeah, right.
Look at you.
But okay. Now that being said, if you haven't looked into the Fables at all, those are super awesome comic series as well. So, yeah, no, great, yeah, great stuff as well. Although there's a Telltale game as well. It's the Wolf. I lost. And that is a story mode from the Fables. So they're great stuff. And that game is super awesome too if you haven't played it yet, Trey.
I need to. I played the Telltale Walking Dead, as you already know, and then the Telltale Batman games, which if you haven't played those are amazing.
I do want to definitely play that Batman. I saw that one when you were playing it, but
that is a cool one just because it's a totally different take on Batman and his lore around him and the rogues gallery. And it's mind blowing. It really is. And I think they're using it as influence for the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson because I think his parents had, I think in that movie, I don't want to give it away. Because Corey doesn't know.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. But Telltale Batman is amazing. Julian says, greetings from Indonesia. Hey, Indonesia.
What's up, Julian? What's up, Indonesia in the house?
Yeah, thank you so much. Greetings from the U.S. Thank you so much for being here. Gosh, what time is it in Indonesia? It must be late. Zachary says, not to bring up and Marvel, but did you guys see Black Widow yet? I did see Black Widow. Fresto can actually... Fresto, what did you think of Black Widow?
I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a prequel for a character who, if spoilers, if you haven't seen Endgame, which I don't know how you haven't at this point, it was a prequel for a character who was dead.
She's dead.
So you were there when we saw Endgame. I know you've seen it. I saw it with you.
That's so funny. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was a terrible film. I think the hard part is I can't get out of my mind that the biggest failure of that movie, I praise Marvel on their planning. They've done so much brilliant planning, and it really felt like they fell short on the planning with Black Widow because that film should have came out directly after Civil War.
Our boy Yellow Devil our boy Yellow Devil coming in clutch again, saying the Black Widow movie made no sense. The script has more holes than a Hamada plan. Damn!
Oh man, that's awesome. Black Widow came out at the wrong time. Yeah, I agree. I think those are all great points, Fresto, and everyone who is seeing. I think. I don't know. To me, it was not a great ending to Scarlett Johansson's character. And honestly, what they should have done to make it better, I feel like, is you should have seen in a post-credit scene, maybe, or even at the end, where her family. Oh God,
are you going to spoil it? I feel like you're spoiling it. It just came out, right?
Yeah, it just came out.
Okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
No. Why are we?
Well, hold on. This isn't a spoiler alert, though.
You're
Not
yelling
really, because
alert.
everyone knows what happens in Infinity War. They should have showed her family turn into dust. And so that way it shows the effect of why she's so depressed in Endgame. It held no emotional tie with me. And the whole Taskmaster thing, I have no opinion on it because I'm not a Marvel. I mean, I enjoy MCU. I said I enjoy it. I'm not like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's masterpieces. I'm gonna
have to tell Julian you said that.
Julian knows I enjoy MCU. I'm just not. It's entertaining. It's entertaining, and that's it. I don't leave a theater after watching an MCU film thinking about inspirations or how my life could be better or how that story was aspiring. BVS was inspiring to me. Man of Steel was inspiring to me. You know, Zack Snyder's Justice League obviously is inspiring to me. Wonder Woman, I think, is still like the best solo female lead film ever. I said it. But
I wish we had a cyborg film.
Considering its competition, that doesn't seem like it's much of a challenge.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman wins. You know, Black Widow, Wonder Woman wins. You know, and my
Wonder Woman 2, Wonder Woman wins.
I hated Wonder Woman 1884.
Yeah. This is why
Wait
Wonder
a
Woman wins.
second. It was a man doing the stunts in Black Widow?
Oh, yeah. See, it was weird. Yeah. They had a. No. See, because this is no. This spoilers, and I don't want to squirt for anyone. But for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but
in
yes.
some ways, I feel like there's a continuity error. You know, like I'm sure she was wearing some tight pants.
Oh
and,
my god!
Yeah, I'm just gonna
if
say
it was Josh Whedon directing, someone would have fell on her breast too. You know.
But if a dude is the one who is, playing, be careful that you close-ups on that shot, right?
So basically, what people are saying, how they feel about Black Widow is
Disappointed!
But yeah, so I mean, so that's a great question about Black Widow. I mean, it was okay. I mean, nothing to go crazy about. But let's get into our next topic, Corey. What people have been asking about the Batgirl casting rumors. This has been, as we know, this is where I say Warner Brothers are just so stupid. So if you guys know, this is the Batgirl movie that's going to be on HBO Max. It's going to be an HBO Max original. And it's going to have nothing to do with Robert Pattinson's Batman or Ben Affleck's The Batman. It's completely its own thing. They're going to be casting a new James Gordon, a new, obviously a new Batgirl and everything like that. But yeah, it's going to be a new James Gordon. So it's not J.K. Simmons, it's not Jeffrey Wright. It's its own thing, which, Fresto, do you feel like that is a mistake on their part not to have a connection to either DC film thing that they're working on?
Yes and no. Yes, because I feel like it confuses the casual fan, but also like it confuses the casual fan, but like doesn't confuse the super casual fan. Like if you're super casual, they're just all separate movies. You don't really care.
Anyways.
If you're a casual fan, you know that they tried to do this connected universe that they're just dropping seemingly to do a bunch of independent movies. And as you know that, seeing what I think we were talking about, 4 different James Gordons on the big screen is super confusing and not a smart move on their part. But I also understand that they're trying to do this, trying to push the multiverse.
Though, like to me, what I've always kind of said and why I think, and like I said, I don't like doing a Marvel versus DC thing because I think they're different and they have their own things that they're good at. But I feel like obviously Warner Brothers is trying to catch up, trying to beat Marvel in terms of the box office and the money revenue. And what helps Marvel with their game plan is that you're forced to see every single thing they have, whether it's on Disney Plus, whether it's in theaters, because it's all interconnected somehow, even with the multiverse, right, that they're doing, with Loki. You're forced to see everything because it's somehow going to connect to the next film, to the next thing, or it's going to explain what's going on in something else. And for people who wouldn't give a shit about Captain Marvel, they went to go see it and it made a lot of money. And something like this, I feel like with DC, it's like, okay, yeah, Joker was kind of an interesting case that made $1 billion. But I think people appreciate more when they have to jump into a film and be like, oh, that's this, or that's going to connect to this. I think people get excited when they're part of a larger universe, but to just have a multiverse where it's like, this is its own thing, this is that thing, I think, like you said, general audiences won't be able to pick up on it. They'll get confused. I mean, I think what would you say 4 like James Gordons technically, because you have
the number that we came up with.
Yeah, because the Batman with Jeffrey Wright, obviously the Batgirl. You got J.K. Simmons for Michael Keaton. I mean, sorry, for Ben Affleck, and I'm totally spacing the actor for Michael Keaton. So yeah, that's 4. So
and then more if we include
Gotham and
James Gordon hasn't appeared in the Arrowverse, so not that one.
No, not yet. But here's some of the casting choices. I guess they're auditioning these girls, but Leslie Grace, Haley Liu, and Zoe Dutch and Isabella Merced. Out of curiosity, guys, from these choices that you are seeing, do any of them pop out at you as like, hey, yeah, she'd be a great Barbara Gordon?
I don't see Megan Fox on here.
God damn it, Corey.
So I only recognize 2 of those faces being. I think I recognize Leslie Grace. I don't remember where from. I think was she in the Heights?
I'm not certain. Probably, maybe. I'm not sure.
Isabella Merced. If I can see her correct, if I can tell who that is based on that photo, let me just double check my knowledge before I talk out my butt.
Very good. While Fresto is doing that, I'm curious to hear what you guys think in the comments. Do you think who would you guys personally like to see as Batgirl?
Well, Trevor H just said Megan Fox. So.
God damn it. I mean, no. Me personally, I mean, it clearly by looking at these actresses, they want someone younger. Originally, I was kind of like, I think Emma Stone would have done a good job, and I think she's a pretty darn good actress. I was a big fan of hers in La La Land and even Easy A and Amazing Spider-Man. But I'm curious to hear who you guys think would have been a really good Barbara Gordon, because I know someone said Chloe Moretz, something like that, or is it Chloe Grace? I can't remember. But is Fresto back?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
This is not the person I thought it was. I thought she was. So I don't really know any of them and their acting, so I couldn't really say who would play the better Batgirl. If we're going based on, it looks like to me Zoe Dutch has currently the best hairstyle for Batgirl.
Oh yeah, I could. Oh, you just based off those pictures that you're seeing?
Based off the pictures I'm seeing.
Yeah, I feel like
on the right side of the screen.
What is she from that I know that she's from? You know, like why is Zoe popping out to me?
Let's look her up.
I'm not sure. Me personally, if I had to choose from these sets of actresses, I feel like either was it Zoe Dutch that you said, and Haley Liu, I think would be a pretty good choice. I'm not sure who the other actresses are, but
I would say for me,
she was in Zombieland. She was Madison in Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay.
Zoe was in Zombieland. Okay.
Zoe was the one that caught my eye originally, so that's who I would pick.
Okay. Out of curiosity, has anyone else said who's kind of
Yes. So we do have quite a few. We have. I'm sorry, I just had to play that again. I know that's probably not his pick, but yes, I agree.
That garlic.
Okay, let's see. I'm sorry.
Did a great job. I'll put it this way, Breezy Beast. In terms of the Joker film, I think Joaquin Phoenix was a brilliant actor and a brilliant character. Me personally, I don't think it was a good Joker character film. I know it was kind of how he becomes Joker, but when he finally embraces himself as Joker, I don't think he was a good Joker. He wasn't Joker to me by the end. Maybe it's because of the issue of trying to feel sorry for the Joker of the life he's been through. But
funny, Murray.
Yeah, to me, the Joker, he kind of has a bit of a comedy that you can kind of laugh to because it's not wrong, but yeah, it's somewhat messed up. But in Joaquin Phoenix, he was just messed up. You know, his humor was just no. But I agree, it was a phenomenal film if you take out the Joker element to it.
I completely agree with this one.
Emma Stone would be perfect. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I really thought Emma Stone would have been a perfect choice for Barbara. I know she would have been on the older side, but I think it would have allowed, because I think one thing that we haven't seen that needs to be a cinematic film is Killing Joke, because what a beautiful progression. Oh, well, that sounds kind of awful, but it's a cool progression of the character of Barbara Gordon, where she's Batgirl. She goes through being in a wheelchair and she becomes Oracle. And in the comics recently, she is back to being Batgirl because they were able to fix her back with a chip. So I mean, that's a cool storyline in itself. But I mean, so you can see she's kind of gone through a big character progression throughout the comics. But Breezy B says they got to pick a girl that can fight and has a fighting body.
It's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Zachary says, I was thinking Zoe too. Okay, so you guys are kind of digging. Oh, thank you so much, Batfleck. I appreciate it. How old should Batgirl be? Well, like I said, based off the girls they're looking at for the HBO Max thing, I mean, I think they're looking for like an early 20s kind of girl, you know, early mid 20s, maybe even late high school age, which is kind of an interesting take on the character, which, yeah, I mean, it could work. I mean, especially it kind of depends on how long they plan on doing the character. Like, I think if they plan on having a long running HBO Max original thing with her, series of films, like, yeah, if they can go through that entire process of Killing Joke and Oracle, because I mean, that's when you think about Oracle, correct me if I'm wrong, Fresto, but like, or maybe give me your opinion. Don't you think, in terms of like Hollywood, having a character that has, in a way, disabilities, who's a superhero, is kind of a thing that no one's really touched yet in Hollywood?
I don't, not that I can recall, at least.
I mean, yeah. I guess I mean, I think me personally, I think it's a cool idea to go through that entire progression of her character. I mean, just like they're kind of doing in the Titans series, where Barbara Gordon is the commissioner of Gotham City GCPD. And she's in a wheelchair, so she's Oracle, you know? So, I mean, I think that's a cool story progression of her character. Oh, see, that's another interesting thing. So that's going to be, because if they do make the Batfleck movie, which hashtag make the Batfleck movie, I want to see it. Ben Affleck planned to have Batgirl in his series, his movie. So there would be his Batgirl, this Batgirl, and Batgirl and Titans, and possibly another Batgirl, because I heard rumors about Robert Pattinson's Batman in a sequel having a Bat family at some point. I don't know. It's the multiverse is getting crazy with DC. But Amshmir says, I will guarantee you they will not select a white actress.
Interesting.
Yeah, I could see that being the case. I mean, well, look what they did with Sasha Kaye. I mean, I'm super happy for Sasha Kaye as Supergirl. But yeah, in terms of comic book accuracy, I mean, then again, it's kind of like Jason Momoa, right? Technically, Jason Momoa is not comic book accurate Aquaman. Yeah. Even if they give him blonde hair, he's not comic book accurate, because, I mean, he's very kind of, you know, white collar, not white collar, blue collar, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You know,
beer drinking kind of guy, you know, from the East Coast. And Jason Momoa is Polynesian, you know, he's Hawaiian blood in him. So, I mean, he's technically not quite that comic book accurate Aquaman, but look what he did to that character. He gave it a whole new element that's super badass.
To go back to your earlier question about disabled superheroes in Hollywood, Yellow Devil did bring up that that Netflix did that with Daredevil for the few seasons he was on. And then also, at this point, I think it's still a rumor. I haven't seen anything that would, to me, confirm it, but that actor is supposed to be reprising his role as Daredevil, as Matt can't remember the character's last name.
Matt Murdock.
In Spider-Man Far From Home and the She-Hulk Disney Plus series.
Interesting. Charlie Cox.
Yes.
Okay,
Breezy B's got a point.
Why not white girls can fight? Look at UFC. Yes, Ronda Rousey.
Rowdy.
Or no, Gina Carano. I think she's a Fox. Henry Cavill used to date Gina Carano. Corey, did you know that?
How about Thug Rose? Let's get some Thug Rose.
Thug Rose? I don't know who Thug Rose is.
Oh man.
How about Misha Tate? She's back in the game, you know.
No.
But Zachary says Charlie Cox, I got his autograph. What, bro? That's awesome. Congratulations. That's super cool. Was he chill in real life? I'd be curious about that. But Bat Mom says, yes, Emma Stone is who I was thinking of for Batgirl. That way she can give us a little musical number too from like La La Land. I'm just kidding. No, I agree.
I was just watching Easy A this last week, and it's man.
Easy A is actually a very good like romantic comedy teenager film. You know, it's like a classic, like, you know, the 80s teenager films.
Yes.
It's a lot like that. And it's perfect, you know, and she's so like, I won't lie. Is my wife watching?
No.
Maybe, hopefully. Oh, but dead again, Fresto. You can't tell your sister.
Lips are sealed.
Trey, what happens on the live stream stays.
What happens on the live stream? Sarah doesn't watch these anyways.
She's probably watching Glee with our brother.
Probably watching Glee. Yeah, no, I used to have a crush on Emma Stone. I thought she was adorable. You know, like ever since Easy, I was like, oh my god, she's adorable.
Oh, interesting. You've only had a crush on Emma Stone?
Just shut up. Just shut up right now. Great. You know what you need to do right now?
So shut up, bitch.
But let's take, you know, cut a route there. Eliza Dushku.
So shut up, bitch.
I know she's on a little bit of the older side.
So shut up, bitch.
No, if you're talking about Eliza Dushku, then Eliza Dushku I always thought would have been a great Catwoman. And in fact, she was the voice of Catwoman in Batman Year One, the Frank Miller animated movie.
Interesting.
Yeah. So she would have been great for that. Me personally, I know Zach wanted Carla Gugino. I always thought Kate Beckinsale would have been perfect.
Oh, interesting. Another
Just
one.
shut up. Yes, I know. You're naming like all the girls in like, you know, high school that was like, oh, I'm attracted. Shut up.
Eliza.
We gotta.
And for those who don't know who Eliza Dushku is, she played Faith in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Shut your mouth. Shut
up, bitch.
Oh my god!
I love her.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last time Super Bro Corey's gonna be on. Oh man. So, anyways, with Batgirl, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still think DC and Warner Brothers needs to figure it out and connect some of these characters a little more. But yeah. To look on your Facebook Messenger, Trey. I will after the show, Zachary. To see the autographs, including Neil Adams. Neil Adams, man, and Stan Lee. Oh, dude, that had to be breathtaking to hang out with him. Neil Adams, though, I did. Corey bought me my very first Batman comic at Hall of Justice with my boys John. They do a live stream sale every Thursday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And because of that, you know, Corey went to that store and got me my very first comic that made me go crazy on Batman comics, which was Batman issue 251 by Neil Adams. And he was at Denver Pop Culture Con a couple years ago, and I had the chance to meet him. And it was one of the greatest experiences. I don't think you were there with me, Fresto. I think you were playing a Yu-Gi-Oh game at the time with someone there.
No, I didn't. I didn't play any Yu-Gi-Oh at Denver Pop Culture Con. Might have been the day that I was sick and didn't go.
Okay. But yeah, I met Neil Adams and I wanted him to sign the cover of that issue. And he looked at it and he just stared at it for a while. And he looked up at me. He's just like, I just got to know something. Did you even read it? Or or am I just signing this? I was just like, no, I read it. And he's like, good. That's what it's for. And I was like, wow. Like, so ever since that, I was like, I make sure to read every single comic, even if it's the old stuff. I'm very careful with it, though. I will say it's like pulling it out, like gloves on the hands and stuff like that. But I love that comic so much. But yeah, no, Neil Adams is super cool. I'll definitely have to check that out, Zachary. That's awesome. Anyways, let's go ahead and go into our next topic with my boy Fresto, which is one of the main reasons why I had you on here. The Flash movie. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, and you mentioned Flashpoint was one of your favorite comics of the Flash, with Jeff Johns, who did the writing for it. What made that like your favorite comic, out of curiosity?
Well, it was the first Flash comic that I read. And so we were in between moving, and we were on a road trip, and we stopped at a comic book store, and this was, this was 2015, so I was just getting like into the Flash. He was starting to become my favorite character, and I saw, the Flashpoint graphic novel book, the full story there, and I was like, I'm gonna get this and read it on the road trip, and I did, and I fell in love with the story. The whole, I guess, alternate universes, time travel, alternate universes has always been really interesting to me and exciting. So seeing that in action in DC Comics as such a huge pivotal moment is just I fell in love.
Yeah, I agree. And like the animated film of Flashpoint Paradox that I think Jay Oliva directed.
Yes.
One of the best animated DC films, and honestly, one of the best animated superhero films, in my opinion. Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely my favorite of all of that, like the DC animated universe, which was, in my opinion, their best attempt so far at a interconnected movie universe. Was the animated movie universe that started with that Flashpoint movie and continued with Batman's the Son of Batman, Batman v Robin, Justice League War, Batman
and
Bad
Justice
Blood,
League Dark and stuff like that.
Justice League Dark.
Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman, Thomas Wayne. That just, you know what that is right there? That just
disappointed.
That is, to me, man. Okay, so Fresto. Do you know what's been going on with the Flash film? Have you been following it fairly closely?
I personally have not been. I've been getting a lot of secondhand information through you, and of course, every now and then I see headlines on Facebook, and I know that it was supposed to be Flashpoint, and I was like, okay, maybe this is how they're gonna fix it all. Everything that they did wrong when they were starting, like when they were not starting, but like that crashed and burned with Justice League from 2017. How they were gonna sort of, and then we got the Snyder Cut, and a lot of people took to speculating, and I like this theory that they were going to use Flashpoint as a way to restore the Snyderverse. And now I'm hearing
the film theory thing you sent me.
Yeah. And now that we're hearing it's not going to be following that, with the firing of I'm blanking on his name right now. That's so embarrassing.
Ezra Miller.
No, Ezra Miller wasn't fired.
Wait, no. Who are you talking about? Oh, Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher, yes.
Oh, sorry.
Ray Fisher. With the firing of Ray Fisher.
Yeah.
Meaning Cyborg wasn't going to be in it, because if they recast Cyborg for this movie, I feel like that's just digging them a deeper hole than they're already in.
Yeah.
With Ray Fisher and that character. So the fact that he won't be in it, and that Jeffrey Dean Morgan isn't going to be playing Thomas Wayne, and Thomas Wayne's not going to be in it.
Yeah.
Even if they call it, which from what I've seen, it doesn't look like they're going to be calling it Flashpoint. It's just going to be the Flash. Even if they call it Flashpoint, that's not what it is.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very loosely based on Flashpoint, right? Like they're taking the initial story of him running back in time to save his mom.
It'll be as based on Flashpoint as the CW's attempt at Flashpoint was, which I also found very disappointing.
You found it
disappointed.
Yes, very much so.
Oh man, yeah, I agree with you like 100%. Corey, can you go ahead and go to the next slide as we're talking? But with Flashpoint, like you said, I mean, it's so many great things, and like this story right here is like it's unfortunate because I don't know if you knew this, Ben, but Zack Snyder had planned, that they would do Justice League 2, Justice League 3, and obviously everything in there with the Cyborg film, a Green Lantern film, another Flash film, Ben Affleck's Batman, Green Lantern Corps theme. And he had planned at the very end of the entire DCEU that he was setting up, the Snyderverse, there was going to be a very comic book accurate Flashpoint film. With Jeffrey D. Morgan as Thomas Wayne Batman, which kills me inside because me personally, one of the greatest moments in the Flashpoint comic and in the animated film is that whole relationship that you were talking about, I think towards the beginning of the show between Bruce and Flash and the letter that I wanted to see that so bad. That was like that would have been a dream come true for me personally. Yeah. Zachary says that means Jack Napers, aka the Joker, never killed the Waynes. And does the Joker and Penguin ever died in that storyline? That means you're talking about like Jack Nicholson's character.
Yeah, because in an earlier comment, he was talking about how the Batman 1989 storyline and the Batman Returns storyline aren't connected in this upcoming Flash movie.
That's interesting. Why do you think that it's not connected? Because why else have Michael Keaton if it's not connected?
Well, no. So I think like we were talking about earlier. Oh wait, no, sorry. Batman Returns. I'm missing up those movies.
Very good.
Never mind. I think I misinterpreted what he said.
I'm not sure either. Maybe you can go into that a little bit more for us, Zachary. For me, it's kind of like, obviously Michael Keaton's not playing Thomas Wayne. At least I don't think he is. If they do it that way, to me, that's also a mistake because people are going to look at him and he's freaking Michael Keaton. He's going to be Batman, right? It's kind of like Ben Affleck now. You see Ben, unless if they do some weird thing where Ben Affleck becomes Thomas Wayne, but I'll be pissed about that because Jeffrey D. Morgan is perfect as, Flashpoint Batman personally. But hey, I agree with you. To me, Fresto, you can kind of go into this a little more, but during Infinite Crisis, that incredible CW event.
The 5-part crossover event that was building up since 2014. Yeah, with at the end of the first episode of The Flash was when Reverse Flash goes into his time vault and brings up the newspaper from 2024. Flash missing, vanishes in Crisis. And that was the start of the Arrowverse's journey to Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yes. Yeah. To me, the weird part about, like you said, Ray Fisher not being in this film is that when you finally see, Barry Allen's Ezra Miller Flash and Grant Gustin's Flash in a room together, one of the things that Ezra's Flash says is like, I got to tell Victor about this.
I told Victor this was possible.
Yeah.
It was like his last words as he faded away.
Mm-hmm. So clearly the relationship between the fact that one of the first people that Ezra's Barry Allen was thinking about was telling Cyborg about the multiverse and that there's another version of himself. To me, to not have Cyborg then in this film, like regardless of Warner Brothers beef with the actor and, obviously Ray Fisher's, justice against them, do you feel like that will hurt the film overall? Taking out the fact that it's a very loosely based Flashpoint film, do you think not having Cyborg there as a Flash fan is a mistake?
So that's let's see. Taking away the fact that it's loosely based on Flashpoint and that Cyborg's a huge character in that. Mm-hmm. If like you, I think you're the one that told me that Grant Gustin's Flash, Grant Gustin's Barry Allen is also supposed to make a cameo in this movie. Apparently, allegedly, rumored to make a cameo in this movie. Yeah. If that is the case, I feel like not having Cyborg in it would be a huge mistake because Ezra's Barry and Gustin's Barry's first meeting had a huge impact on Ezra's Barry, and the first person he thought about was Cyborg, was Victor Stone. And so in that sense, not having him in it would be a huge mistake.
Yeah.
If there is no connection there, I'm not sure not having Cyborg at all would be a huge detriment to the story. I'd have to see it first.
Yeah.
Now, but of course, the fact that it is Flashpoint makes me want Cyborg. But
yeah, and I think that's the hard part is like when I think it's always kind of sucks. Like, and I feel bad for like movie writers and stuff like that because anytime they're like, they'll tell you the influence of their story. Like they'll be like, you know, oh, The Long Halloween, you know, when the Dark Knight film was being written, it was the biggest influence for this film. And all of a sudden you see the film and you're like, as a comic book fan, you're like, yes, The Long Halloween. And then you see The Dark Knight. Now the Dark Knight's an amazing film, right? But in terms of The Long Halloween, it wasn't really the Long Halloween Batman story. I mean, it definitely had influences, right? But I think comic book fans, when you hear certain things, you're like, oh my God, I need to see this. This needs to happen. You know, like with Flashpoint, you're like, oh my God, there has to be Flashpoint Batman. There needs to be the war between the Amazons and the Atlanteans, and Superman needs to be draining of his powers, you know, in a government experiment kind of thing. And Cyborg needs to be the Boy Scout. And there's all these scenes, and like Martha Wayne as the Joker. There's all these things we get excited about as comic book fans. And then when you see the film, I kind of relate it to as like when you read a book before you see a movie, and the movie never matches the thing you love about the book, you know? And it's just like one of those things that for me, especially, like, obviously with all the drama about the Ray Fisher situation, like Warner Brothers needs to fix that. They need to get this guy back in because it's Cyborg. Clearly it's a big character and relationship with Ezra's Flash. But Comic Book Craig Movies says, let's face it, in general public won't have a clue Cyborg should be in the Flashpoint film. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. And that's the thing that sucks. I feel like the general audience is going to be maybe accepting of it, of a lot of things that happen in this movie. And a lot of comic book fans are going to be like, you ruined Flashpoint. You know, or at least Flashpoint was super disappointing,
which is scary because we need this one to work.
Well, do we? Or I mean, this is that tough part. Like, if it's truly, there's two sides of this coin here. Some people say they're using Flashpoint to completely destroy the Snyderverse, and then there's some people that say, well, maybe they're not going to destroy the Snyderverse, so that way it can allow the opportunity for it to branch off and be its own thing while Warner Brothers continues their bullshit until Discovery gets in. A lot of questions up in the air, and we won't know until the Flash movie comes out. But here's another interesting thing, and I know you and Fresto and I have seen these. The Flash keeps having leaked photos.
Yeah,
to me it's like, here's a great point. Black Adam, we really haven't got any leaked photos of Black Adam. Now, just to let you guys know, we are not going to show any of the leaked photos because apparently Warner Brothers has been going around shutting those YouTube videos down. It happened to my friend Sil. His channel was shut down for a week because he showed some of the last leaked set photos. So we're not doing that. I'm just kind of showing you generally what we saw in these set photos, and we'll kind of describe them to you guys. But with these leaked photos, Ben, like, what do you think about that? Like, how's it that the Flash like just keeps, I mean, it's stuff on set that you have to be on set for. It's not like on location in London. It's behind the scenes pictures that you're like, what are they doing?
That just goes to show that Warner Brothers, or whoever's in charge of this movie and its, I guess, security, for lack of a better term, is not doing a good job.
Yeah.
If they're allowing these behind the scenes, like photos that bystanders take on the streets when they're on set in a public place, is understandable. You can't avoid that. But behind the scenes photos in your green screen room is, I mean, you gotta, at some point you gotta crack down. You gotta find these people that are taking these photos and posting them on the internet, and you have to fire them.
Yeah.
Why can't they just install like a no cell phone policy? You know, like, hey, you can't have this here. You know,
there's some truth to that. But here's what I almost wonder. And we'll kind of go into this a little more as we kind of progress through all the leaked photos that have been let out recently. But I almost wonder, Junkie XL, Tom Holkenborg, the composer of Zack Snyder's Justice League, he once said in an interview, I believe, with Film Junkies, like, anytime something's leaked or is, somehow makes it out onto the web, it's usually on purpose. Now, while I somewhat believe that in some cases, like that happened with Deadpool, they released that little animation short with Ryan Reynolds' voice with that whole car scene that encouraged people to be like, we need a Deadpool film in 20th Century Fox to let it happen. But they did that on purpose to see what the general audience would think of a Deadpool film. With this film, it's kind of weird because if that were the case, then Warner Brothers shouldn't care if there's leaked photos. So maybe it really is like someone is just going around taking all these secret photos. But part of me wonders, are they leaking these in to kind of misdirect us about what's going on? Because we still don't know really who the villain is in this film. As comic book, sorry, Craig, go ahead. As comic book Craig movie says, as Sean Connery said on Celebrity Jeopardy, shuck it, Warner Brothers, shuck. Oh no,
do it, Trey, do it.
Shuck it long and shuck it hard. That's what your mother said last night, Trebek.
I worship no doggy and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean,
that's the way your mother likes it, Trebek.
Oh my God. But one of the leaked photos was actually a screen test of Sasha Calais in her Supergirl suit. And one of the nice things about it is when we saw this leaked photo, the first one, the onset in London, she had her harness on, and that's why the kind of like the abs kind of look weird in that area, is because she has her harness underneath her. That's going to be edited out when they go into the CGI stuff. But we got you back. There he is. Fresto. Awesome.
I took the hat off. It was starting to hurt.
Long enough where you can charge back up.
Yeah. But we got a screen test photo of her in the suit with the cape, and I gotta be honest, she does look really, really cool. Like, what did you think of that, Fresto?
I didn't see the cape. All I saw of a Supergirl set photo was like her on a stage of some kind. Maybe.
Oh, maybe I haven't seen
that one did have the cape on it.
Oh, well, maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. Because I tried to go back and find those so that I would know, have some sort of reference. But even those like Twitter posts with those pictures have been taken down by Warner Brothers due to copyright. Yeah,
no, I mean it's. When I looked at it, I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, she looks, I think she's going to do a very good job. When they released that video with her and Andy Muschietti of revealing she's going to be Supergirl, you could just tell it meant the world to her. And I love that. Like that's wonderful to see. I'm still a bit confused of which Supergirl she's playing. I've heard it both ways. I've heard she's playing the Lane Kent Supergirl from Another Earth, and then someone was like, no, she's definitely playing Kara Zor-El, which, as we know, Kara Zor-El usually has blonde hair, the red skirt, so they're but her design, her look is very much like the Lane Kent Supergirl, which is kind of an interesting take. What would you guess? I mean, do you feel, Fresto, that she is going to be Kara Zor-El? And it sounds like she's going to kind of take the spot in the Flashpoint story as Superman, where she's like stuck in a government facility being drained of her powers. Yeah.
If they go the route of this being the Supergirl that was teased all the way back in Man of Steel with the open pod and the Kryptonian ship that was the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't make sense for her to be any other Supergirl than Kara Zor-El. That being said, she does look a lot like the Lane Kent Supergirl. That is, I don't know if she's from another Earth or from the future, and is like Clark.
Technically, she'll be part of
descendant.
well, technically she'll be part of Michael Keaton's universe, which I think is an interesting take on that too, because a lot of people were kind of hoping that Michael Keaton's Batman universe intersected with Christopher Reeves, Richard Donner's Superman.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting that his Superman is actually Supergirl in this case. So it's that kind of that mixing the blurred lines of he's 89 Batman's universe.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but also, if with Ezra's appearance in Flashpoint and not Flashpoint, in Crisis, and Gustin's supposed appearance in the Flash movie, that wasn't really a realistic outcome with Keaton and Christopher Reeves universes being interconnected, because we see both of those universes in Crisis as separate universes. It's a quick cameo of Earth 89, which is just the reporter,
or Richard Knox, I think it is.
Yeah. And then of course the Kingdom Come Superman, who is played by Brandon Ruth, and they confirmed to be the direct continuation of Superman Returns, which was a direct continuation of Christopher Reeves, as they confirmed that to be the direct continuation of Christopher Reeves' universe.
Well, that's kind of interesting that you brought that up. Do you think
96? I think
you are right. Do you think Brandon Ruth will appear at all in this? Do you think he'll have a cameo?
I don't think he'll have a cameo in this. I did hear rumors that the original CW's original plan was to split the Superman and Lois series with a Brandon Ruth as Superman TV show, but I don't know how much truth there is to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure either. I mean, someone even joked that Nicolas Cage was going to make a cameo appearance, as Superman, because he was supposed to be Superman in a Tim Burton film. Like, Tim Burton's next project in the early 2000s was supposed to be a Superman film.
I think I did hear that.
Yeah, it was not good. Me personally, like, while Tim Burton, created Batman 89, right? Batman Returns, some great films there. Nicolas Cage as Superman, I just can't see it. But hey, who knows? So you got that set photo with her, but you also got a look at, and like I said, these aren't the leaked set photos. These are just to kind of give you an idea of some of the things we saw, but you got to look at the Batmobile, which it's exactly Michael Keaton's 89 Batmobile, but it also, they give you a real full scope of his Batcave, and it looks different from what I remember of Keaton's Batcave, because it kind of looks a little bit like The Dark Knight Rises, where it has kind of like a pool of water and this like platform in the center of it. It's kind of interesting. Do you recall those at all, Fresto?
I remember the Batmobile, because that's like, of the three that I saw, that was the one that really drew my attention.
Yeah.
The other one that I saw of the Batcave, I didn't see much detail because it was a very far away shot, and there was a bunch of like green screen around it. It was like this huge green screen room with a bunch of rock formations and a platform that looked like it was at the top of the room with what I believe to be the Bat computer.
Yeah. I wonder if it's where his like suits are, like if it comes out of the platform cave thing. And I'm trying to remember how it is in 89. I literally thought it was just a safe in like, not a hallway, but like just on a wall of a cave kind of thing, like he opened it up. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of just an interesting design. I mean, one, it's really cool. I know a lot of people are excited to see Michael Keaton return as Batman because of the possibility that leads to with him, doing a Batman Beyond series, maybe on HBO Max or on film. Which, yeah, I mean, why not with Michael Keaton? And me personally, like you guys already know, I'm a huge Ben Affleck fan. I'm so glad he's gonna be in this film. I know some people are worried that he's gonna be killed off in this film. According to Mikey Sutton at Geekosity with Syl Abdul Inc., he's not gonna die. And I believe Grace Randolph has retracted her statement when she originally said that Ben Affleck was going to die in this film. So far, it sounds like Ben Affleck is not going to die. So if you have some reservations that, they're going to kill Ben off, doesn't sound like that's going to be the case anymore. It just sounds like it's really just expanding the multiverse, kind of letting you know there's all these different Batmen out there. But out of curiosity, Fresto. So one thing that's been, I mean, it's been great to see, the Batmobile again, and different, Supergirl suit and everything that's going on with this Flash movie. Obviously, it's going to be a very big film for Warner Brothers. The fact that we haven't heard about a villain, is that, what do you think about that?
It's the first Flash movie, so the villain and I believe almost everyone is expecting is Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Especially since it was originally supposed to be a Flashpoint film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sort of story they're loosely basing it on, and the Reverse Flash is a huge part of that. So I would be surprised if it isn't the Reverse Flash.
Okay.
Which is why I feel like we haven't heard anything about the announcement of a villain. It's either supposed to be a really surprise twist villain, or the fact that it's being based off of Flashpoint. They just expect people to know it's going to be the Reverse Flash.
Well, it's interesting you say that, with a surprise twist of a villain, because here's, to me, part of nowadays, part of what sells a movie is the villain, because people love the villains for some reason nowadays. I mean, the Joker film makes $1 billion. Everyone wants to know who is the villain in Batman. Is it going to be the Joker? Everyone wants to know who the villain is, because the villain is such, it's the other part of the character that really challenges your hero. So people are always interested about the villain. And I think the fact that we haven't heard about a casting of the villain, look at Loki. We knew who was casted to be this villain. We were just waiting for him to appear, and finally we got it.
We knew the actor was casted as the character. We knew that he was casted as that character for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yes.
We did not know they were going to be using that character as early as in Loki.
Mm-hmm. It was basically waiting for his arrival, at some point in the show, or at least in the MCU, I should say.
MCU. We knew he was coming. We just didn't know, and we knew he was going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We just didn't know if that was going to be his introduction, or if he was going to be introduced in Loki after Loki started going, and people started connecting all these dots, since they knew this character was coming.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the interesting thing I think about, when you said that the word twist, it kind of popped in me a little bit. Light bulb kind of went off. One of the set photos that we saw, and I think you saw it too, was Ezra Miller. I think he was wearing a green hoodie thing, and then he was with a double that was wearing a yellow jacket.
What was he wearing?
Yeah, if you look closely. So and the reason why we know it's two Barry Allens is because there was one leaked set photo with Ezra Miller with longer hair wearing that same yellow jacket. So it made people start asking this question, well, what if the twist is, what's up, System Failure? How you doing, Mark? It's good to see you here, man. Much love from London. Thank you, man. Much love from the US. It makes people wonder if the twist is, and maybe you can speak because you know the Flash comics far better than I do. I think I even asked you, is there a second Barry Allen out there who's evil? And I know they kind of teased it in the CW show, but with I feel like the colors that they wear is kind of a hint, a teaser that maybe Eobard Thawne is going to be looking like Ezra Miller.
Yes,
he is the Reverse Flash.
That is actually and I'm looking at those photos right now on Twitter, and that would be a wonderful callback to the Wally West Flash storyline that introduced the youngest version of Thawne we ever saw, who was out prior to the New 52 when they rewrote his backstory. it gave us the backstory of Eobard Thawne. So this was post-crisis. Wally was the Flash. Barry was lost in the Speed Force, and for all intents and purposes at that time, dead.
Wow.
His whole backstory was he in the future he idolized Barry Allen. He idolized the Flash so much that he recreated the accident that gave the Flash his superpowers, and 2, got plastic surgery to look like Barry Allen.
Wow.
And then went back in time to be the Flash.
Oh,
And
man.
then in that, discovering Wally had taken the mantle, and the public did not know. They did not know that Kid Flash had become the Flash.
Oh, that's crazy.
And that kind of pissed him off, that, you know, the public would just forget about his hero. And that kind of drove him insane. And then he and Wally fought. And then I guess at some point he goes back in time, goes to the Flash Museum, and learns that he is destined to become the Reverse Flash, and then proceeds to terrorize Barry.
Wow. Wow. That would actually be really crazy cool if they did something like that. It's almost like, man, I get the feeling that they're kind of going to start off this movie with like Barry meets another Barry, and, you know, because of his experience with the previous Barry, maybe from the CW show, that he's going to be trusting of this Barry, and he's going to kind of try to show him the ropes, when really the person they think is his ally is actually the person that is torturing him, and maybe was the person that killed his mom, you know. Yes. Obviously, as they kind of hinted that Reverse Flash has done.
Right.
And I think that's kind of crazy if it's like Ezra, you know, his looking of a character. And I mean, that'd be crazy if they did do that whole like Wally West spinoff. I mean, even if they had Wally West kind of revealed at some point, would be, I think that would blow up this movie in a whole nother direction easily. So out of curiosity, because we haven't heard of the villain, I mean, do you think the coincidence of Ezra being in both a yellow jacket with the long hair, and then a Ezra with his hair cut short, kind of wears, you know, the green, but he has like, the red shoelaces,
the red shoelaces, and then the yellow shoelaces on the body double.
Do you think that's what they're doing? Do you think Ezra's Barry is also Eobard Thawne, or do you think he's just an evil Barry, like kind of what they did? What was in CW show? Was it
Savitar?
Savitar,
which was a grave disservice to the character of Savitar.
Yeah.
And the character of the future Flash, which is who that Savitar Barry Allen was mixed with. In the comics, in the New 52, shortly after Barry's battle with the New 52 Reverse Flash, who is, I can't remember his first name, but he is Iris West's brother and Wally West's father.
Okay.
In the New 52 is the New 52's Reverse Flash, who I think they've killed off at this point, but I wouldn't, you know, say there's no way he can't come back because they're speedsters. They don't die. Was the storyline where a future version of Barry, who instead of wearing red, instead of being the Scarlet Speedster, he wore blue. His lightning was bluish yet white, instead of the yellow orange. And he was on a mission to erase speedsters from history. He was going through time, killing all these speedsters until it came to a climactic battle between Barry and Barry. And present day Barry was getting his butt kicked by future Barry because, of course, future Barry would be more powerful. He's from the future. He's him from the future.
Damn.
Of course, he would be more powerful.
Yeah.
Until the future Wally West from the New 52 came in his silver Flash costume, like, I am the Flash from the future, in the silver costume that I thought was very cool. And they again hinted at, they teased, they referenced in the Justice League Dark Apocalypse War movie when they were having their meeting about dealing with Darkseid, and they cut to Titan's Tower with all the Titans. You saw Wally West's Kid Flash, the New 52 Wally West Kid Flash, not in yellow, in his like traditional Kid Flash styled costume, except instead of yellow, it was the silver. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was a cool nod to that. And it seems like we've got a question from Trevor.
Trevor H.
Thanks for the $20 stream tip. Corey, I think you're muted.
$20 super chat.
Thank
you so much.
$20 super chat. Thank you, Trevor H. My man.
You know what to do, Corey.
So, which one do you want to play, Trey?
Let's see. I don't know. Let's.
While I figure this out, let me think on your question.
We'll play something a little different here. So here we go.
Okay.
Right, and
it is not a question of money.
You see, I'm buying this hotel and setting some new rules about the pool area.
Thank you so much, Trevor H, for your $20, man. That really goes a long way to helping our channel get better. And can't thank you much. Thank you enough for that much, brother. I appreciate it. So Trevor H says, this is such a great stream. Must have Fresto on again. I agree. Fresto, like his Flash, like, man, he just knows.
You know, to talk about that real quick, I was going to give Fresto some shit if he didn't pull the same type of numbers that Wonder Wife always does when she gets on the show. So
I see you wish for me to compete with my sister.
Yes, yes.
No.
I see.
But he says, Trevor says, question for Fresto. What do you think? Who do you think would play a good Reverse Flash? Ooh.
See, that's a difficult question because I don't know many actors. Of course, I enjoyed both Tom Cavanaugh and the other guy as Eobarthon Reverse Flash in the CW. Not that I would want either of them to play him in this, because I feel like that just would be weird. But I mean, someone who could has maybe like a same body type as Ezra Miller. If they go the route of doing the Ezra Miller double, like the set photos seem to indicate. I mean, purely speculation. Yeah. I think that would be a great decision. Being the guy who plays Homelander. Yeah, he wouldn't be awful as.
Oh yeah, Trevor Flash. H also said the guy who plays Homelander would be awesome from the.
I could see that. I mean, he plays a great evil dude. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
evil dude that's trying to be the good. That's like the good guy.
Yeah,
it's also the evil dude. So yeah, I guess Homelander, the guy who plays Homelander, I think would be a good Reverse Flash. Is there
Jonah Hill,
who I think would make a great Reverse Flash? Actually, and no joke, what's his name?
What's he from? What movie?
Not a movie. I mean, he's been in movies. Michael Rosenbaum. He has experience playing speedsters because he voiced Wally West, the Flash, in
Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville as Lex Luthor.
But he was also Wally West as the Flash in the Justice League Unlimited show, and he voiced Wally West and actually also Barry Allen in several things.
Hold on. Michael Rosenbaum was Wally West's Flash in Justice League Unlimited?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I guess I never realized that. He totally is.
Why does Michael Rosenbaum sound familiar?
He played Lex Luthor in Smallville.
He
Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah,
I mean, he
Michael
played the Flash in Justice League Doom.
You know,
Smallville Lex Luthor. Where is it? He was Kid Flash in the Teen Titans TV show.
okay. You know
He
who
was
I
the
always
Flash Wally West in Justice League Unlimited, and the precursor just Justice League.
okay. Yeah, and you know, I could see that. I mean, he obviously can play an evil dude. You know who I always thought would have been a good one? What's his name? It's like Michael Fassbender. It starts with an F. He played Magneto in the new X-Men series.
Yes.
I always thought he would have been perfect for Reverse Flash. I mean, Fassbender. Thank you.
Yeah. I do think he would play a decent Reverse Flash, but I just feel like Michael Rosenbaum, with his portrayal of Lex Luthor, really gives off that super cunning, hyper intelligent kind of bad guy.
Yeah.
Which Reverse Flash is. You know, he's from the 25th century. He was doing rocket science in the 5th grade. That's like that's the kind of character he plays. He's supposed to be hyper intelligent with the mind of a speedster. That's they're like speed thinking. That's kind of the character the Reverse Flash is, and I feel like Michael Rosenbaum would hit that out of the park.
I could agree with you on that. I think that is a good choice. I haven't thought of him before, and dude, you blew my mind. I had no idea that he was Wally West for Justice League Unlimited, but now that you say that, I can totally hear his voice as that dude. So he's been part of like the DC universe for a very long time.
Oh yeah,
doing voices and Lex Luthor and stuff like that, and now he'll be doing Lex Luthor in the Smallville animated series.
I was getting an animated series.
Bro, have you not heard about this? Yes, Smallville's getting a continuation animated series.
Is it going to be based on the Year 11 comics? Because Smallville got a season 11 in the form of comic books.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Is that
somebody say season 11 Smallville?
No, Corey, no.
Somebody save me. Let your warm hands break right through.
You know, Corey, how about this? If you want to edit sometime and make us a Bat Channelsville video opener, I will let you play that.
With that song specifically too?
Sure, with that song, it will be copyrighted every time, but who the hell cares at that time? You know, it'd be pretty epic.
Me.
Yeah, there we go. We'll just have people sing like an acapella version of it for us. That you know, Fresto, that's some really good choices. So now that we've kind of seen these, I guess the question I have for the audience
First off,
is,
real quick, thank you again, Trevor H. Thank you, my friend.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, Trevor. Really, that does go a long way in helping us out. But for the audience, let us know in the comments, like, who do you think is the Flash movie villain? Like, what do you think of that idea that two Barrys, one of them being, you know, the Reverse Flash? Or do you think they're going to do like what the CW do? I don't think they would redo the CW. I think that would be kind of silly to do something like that. But I don't know, Warner Brothers, you know, you never know what they're going to get. After DCEU Restore the Snyderverse. What up, Jake? Jake, man, is a big supporter of our channel. He runs the DCEU Restore the Snyderverse page on Facebook. Gosh, I think they're like past 27,000 people now. But it's a really cool page. I enjoy like just looking at what everyone posts. I mean, some of it's really, really great stuff and sometimes really funny too. But Jake runs that account. Shout out to Jake. Comic Book Craig Movie says, Fassy Fanny Fammy, check on the briefcase. Oh yeah, here it is. This fast. Super bro Corey's getting punchy. I know, man. He's going crazy. Dad Pool says, gotta love it. 66 Batman intro. Yeah,
we could do that. That'd be tight.
That would be dope. Yeah, we'll just do that transitions for every topic, you know, when we go for our live show.
but hey, you know, Fresto, if you could work in Smallville anymore tonight, that would be much appreciated.
I'll keep that in mind.
So yeah, in the comments, let us know, who do you think is the Flash movie's villain? Do you think it's another Barry Allen who's maybe a Reverse Flash? Because it's it's Flashpoint, yeah, it makes sense if it would be Flashpoint. I've heard a rumor that people also thought maybe Captain Cold was the villain.
Ah, man.
That would be interesting. It's a good that would be a great introduction to the Rogues, who of course are traditional Flash villains, team of super villains. You've got Captain Cold, you've got Heatwave, you've got Golden Glider, you've got the Top, you've got Trickster. It's just that's a whole bevel of characters that I feel like they could eventually build up to a larger story in the future if they decide to keep going with Ezra Miller.
Mm-hmm. Out of curiosity, so now that we've kind of talked about, you know, the most recent updates while people are kind of getting their answers in, sorry, go ahead, Corey.
You know, I do want to say one thing about this real quick. You know, I've seen it brought up a few times tonight. Obviously, Fresto's straight up killing it tonight. He's a freaking Flash genius, so much appreciated to having Fresto on tonight. But, you know, while I would agree with you, Ben, I would love to see a reverse Flash. The thing that I start to get nervous about is if we put in a reverse Flash in there and we're doing all these other stuff going on. We already talked about, Trey, if this movie is not a long movie, we're going to run into some issues.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I feel like with this, for this film to be done effectively and have smooth transitions and for it to really explain to the general audience what's going on and how they're doing. I mean, think about it. MCU was setting up the multiverse. Gosh, Fresto, you probably know better than I. When was like the first kind of inkling that there was going to be something more of a dimension? And was it Doctor Strange that kind of hinted at it at first?
I think it was technically, Doctor Strange was the first one that really hinted at this. Actually, no. I would say Ant-Man was the first one that really hinted at there being something more with the quantum realm, which was huge in. It wasn't called the quantum realm originally.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's mainly that was a huge place for the Fantastic Four in the comics.
Yeah.
And it was called something else that I can't remember the name of. But they changed it to Quantum Realm because at the time they didn't have the Fantastic Four rights, so they couldn't use that name.
Okay.
And before we get on too much further, we just got another super chat.
Thank you so much. Oh, I really do. Wow. Thank you. I think reverse is played out. We
got to play the video, Trey. We got to play the video.
Sorry, let's play the video for.
And I love this one.
Are you sweet talking me?
Oh man, yeah, sweet talking me, y'all. Thank you so much for your $3 super chat, man. That means a lot to us. And Grodd, he does in both Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Brings up a good point. He says, I'm fluent in sign language, gorilla sign language, clearly hinting at a gorilla Grodd. What do you think about that, Fresto?
I do think, Reverse Flash is yes. I mean, well, Reverse Flash is as played out as the Joker is. You can't really like the Reverse Flash is to Flash what Joker is to Batman. You can't really have one without the other. Mm-hmm. I do think they use him a lot because of who he is. Grodd would be a very interesting character and a very interesting contrast, sort of, to Barry, with his again hyper intelligence. Barry is a very smart individual. Yeah. But also he's coming up against these people who can think faster and just outsmart him at every turn, which is challenging for him because as a story arc that I've seen is that Barry or other Flashes start to rely so much on their speed, like all these superheroes, they start to rely so much on their powers that they fail to grasp normal, like common human like elements that they think their powers are all they need to save the day, which is where Batman comes in as a great hero in that he is just a guy with gadgets and he doesn't have superpowers, so he doesn't have that sort of quote unquote weakness that comes from relying too heavily on one's super abilities.
A Flash v. Grodd, King of the Kaijus, would be a pretty cool movie, though.
I agree. That'd be just crazy. Get out of here, Corey.
Mirror Master would be nice. Again, just
that could be interesting.
Any of the rogues, I think, would be a fantastic villain to do. Though I think if you're gonna do the rogues, Mirror Mask, if you're gonna start by introducing the rogues, you've got 3 characters that I think you would want to do to introduce the rogues, being Mirror Master, Captain Cold, or the Trickster.
Okay.
Just because the Trickster has been a bigger and bigger character for the Flash since his introduction in the 90s TV show with Mark Hamill was playing the Trickster. I can't remember the actor's name. He played Barry in that show, and then he played Jay Garrick in the Arrowverse, but he also played Henry Allen in the Arrowverse. I can't remember his name.
I'm spacing
right
it too. The original
name.
Flash.
I like release the Snyder Cut guys. Knowing Warner Brothers, probably Walter Hamada is the villain.
Gorilla would be dope.
That's fantastic. Oh, it's probably Polka Dot Man. No, he's probably gonna die in Suicide Squad. Let's be honest. Comic Book Craig movie says, question for Fresto. We used to watch CW Flash, made it to season 4 and got tired of it. The show just seems to do all speedster villains. Is that the primary villains for the Flash? Oh, great question.
There is certainly a lot of speedster villains for the Flash, as it's always a question of Barry trying to get faster to beat the next fastest. That's where the whole my name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive, yet I am slower than every other person I've ran against.
I always hated that when he's like, I'm the fastest man alive, and every season he's actually the slower one.
Well, I mean, every season through season 3.
Yeah.
Because after season 3, season 4 is when they did the Thinker, which is so the Thinker, who was, that was that fastest man versus the fastest mind.
Yeah.
He's like a living supercomputer. And then they did season 5, they did Cicada.
Yep.
Which was different and interesting, the way they did him. And then they did season 5. Season 6 was Flashpoint, wasn't it? It's not Flashpoint. Season 6 was Crisis.
Yes,
because it was 2 seasons behind Arrow, which was on season 8. Season 6 was, of course, the new Mirror Master that they introduced, who still coexisted with the Mirror Master they had already introduced in the show. Kind of.
That's a great question.
They went in an interesting direction with that because they had to continue her story into season 7 because of COVID. And that only lasted a few episodes into season 7. And then, of course, season 7 with the Force War that they were doing with... Godspeed has been a recurring character since season 5.
Okay.
He was first introduced in the flashback, and I say that with quotes because it was Nora's flashback, and Nora was from the future, so it was really going into the future, but it was a flashback from Nora's perspective.
Okay.
And that was where he was first introduced, and then he wasn't touched on again, because that was like her first villain as a speedster, and then he wasn't touched on again. And then in the season 6 premiere, Barry caught a Godspeed in the present, and they hinted at this bigger purpose for the Godspeed character, that they sort of did again in season 6. They did more about with season 6 post Crisis. And from what I've seen, they also again revisited in season 7, though that is somewhere I have not gotten to yet.
Yeah. So it seems like for the most part, Flash's villains.
Yeah, there are 5 different Reverse Flashes at this point.
Okay.
Kind of. So the first 3, every Flash had their villain. Barry Allen had his Reverse Flash in Eobard Professor Zoom. Wally West had his Reverse Flash in Hunter Zolomon, Zoom, and Bart Allen, who is Impulse, had his Reverse Flash in Inertia, who is Thaddeus Thawne, as I think his name.
Oh yeah, I seem to recall that.
And then, of course, the New 52 happened, and you had Wally's dad, who was the Reverse Flash. And then, actually, that's only 4. Why am I thinking there's more? Oh, and then, of course, the last speedster villain I'm thinking of is Godspeed, which was introduced in Rebirth, which we talked about earlier. And there were a few other evil speedsters throughout that. But then you also consider all his non-speedster villains being all the rogues and Tar Pit and the Turtle and Grodd. And so there are certainly a plethora of evil speedsters for them to pull from, which is why the first 3 seasons were all speedster villains.
Yeah.
There's also a plethora of non-speedster villains to pull from, which is where you got all your baddies of the week for those first weeks. And a lot of them, bigger characters like Captain Cold and Heatwave, who appeared in several episodes, would make wonderful movie villains if you had to pick one. So, like, for the rogues.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Corey. I know you were waiting to address the super chat.
We got another super chat.
Thank you so much, Bat Fanatic. I really appreciate it. Question. First off, though, before we address your question, let's go ahead and play him the video, Corey.
Let's see here. He did it earlier too, so we already gave him one. We'll do this one now for him.
Cool.
Trust.
And now, folks, it's time for Who Do You Trust? Hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who do you trust? Me? I'm giving away free money.
So immediately right there, Joker gave away free money. Batman's never given away free money that I can recall like that. So yeah, clearly Batman and Flash are
free money all the time. What are you talking about? Get out of here. So question for the panel. Thank you so much, first of all, Bat Fanatic, for another $10, sir. I really do appreciate it. He says, question for the panel. What do you think about Andy Muschietti calling the Flash and Batman the two idiots? Oh, okay. I don't know if you've heard about this. Fresto. So there was a leaked video that came out on Twitter. I believe it was technically for DC fandom that leaked obviously too early. And Andy Muschietti said in his interview that it's basically a super Kryptonian and two idiots. And while he said that, it showed a picture of Supergirl and Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman and Flash. So clearly the super Kryptonian is Supergirl, and the two idiots who he loved this story about an underdog team taking on, like the multiverse, basically.
He was basically saying Supergirl saves the day.
Don't. I know where you're going with that. Just don't. So what do you think about, do you think Andy Muschietti, the director, was just joking that, or do you think because the Flash could very well be the comical Flash from Justice League and it's him being an idiot along with Michael Keaton's Batman being an idiot?
Oh, if he's the comical Flash from Justice League, I'm going to be so disappointed in this movie. I hope that it was satirical and a joke.
You mean he's not going to fall on Supergirl's cleavage or breasts or anything like that?
God, I hope not.
I don't think Andy Muschietti would allow that. That was just a Josh Whedon thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I hope it's just a satirical joke thing. If that actually has a huge part to play, and they dumb down both Barry and Michael Keaton's Batman, both characters of which are supposed to be very intelligent, smart people, then we're gonna have some problems.
So what you're trying to say is,
It means all go fuck yourself.
if this does turn out to be the way the movie goes, yes.
Yeah, I agree. Great question, Matt. I think I hope Andy Muschietti was joking. He seems to be a bit of a comical guy, just based off what I've seen behind the scenes with the It movies. But I mean, look at It One. It One I thought was a fantastic film. It Part 2 wasn't as good. But I thought they were still fairly good films. And plus it's Flash. He's Barry Allen. He's a detective. He's going to school and he's very bright. He's very smart. And not only that, Michael Keaton in the 89 Batman
he's the greatest detective alive.
Is not an idiot. He's clearly is smart. I mean, he is kind of psycho because he has that whole scene of, like, knock your lights out. Now you want to get nuts. Let's get nuts. But
Ever see a devil in the pale moonlight?
He's clearly not an idiot. I mean, he's a detective as well. So, I mean, I think it was just a joke. I'm hoping it's a joke. Otherwise, I'm going to be like Fresto and I'm going to be
Disappointed!
It is interesting though, like what, obviously it's I hope that they don't try to make, Supergirl, like the end all be all. Because don't get me wrong, 2017 Justice League, it was fun watching, Superman just be the hero, going back and forth, saving everybody's day. But to be honest with you, Zack Snyder's Justice League was where it was at. Superman was a team player. Everybody had their roles in it. So I would be very disappointed if they immediately turn right around and go the opposite way again. And, I hope they're not trying to make this like you know what I'm trying to say, Trey? Like a woman power empowerment.
I felt like Wonder Woman, the first film, Patty Jenkins, did a wonderful job with the balance between here you have a badass woman and then you have, Steve Trevor, he's right up there, up in the front lines. And honestly, he has more on the line than she does because she can't die. He can, which is why it makes his sacrifice so beautiful in that movie. But yeah, I do hope that they don't do that because, I mean, it's so crammed down your throat nowadays. Not that you can't have obviously you can have a badass female character. I mean, I think Sasha Calle is going to be a badass Supergirl. I think, hell, the Supergirl TV show on CW is pretty good. I think Melissa Benoist, something like that. Benoist, something.
Maybe.
Thank you.
I probably butchered that.
Right. My box office manager would be pissed because he used to work with her. But I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, but to then downgrade, what do they call it when you have like OP characters and you bring down the level of characters? What's that?
Nerf
them. Thank you. The nerf them, they nerf 89 Batman and Flash.
Except for Superman, never nerf Superman.
I mean, they have nerfed Superman. That's where his weakness to magic came from.
Yeah, and Kryptonite Rock, so. But it's kind of one of those scenes where I think he was kidding, but
I hope so. I hope so. I would hate to see them immediately do a 180 and make, Ezra stupid and,
So basically, our confused answer is.
Well, it is. But see if you can follow me here. It isn't.
Oh. So it is. And it isn't.
Basically, we don't know. Like, we hope to God it's not. But yeah, so it's all that crazy stuff, I mean, who knows? We'll find out more at DC Fandom October sometime. What was comic book, Craig? Do you have a question? Fresto, do you know what a plethora is? I would not like to think that a person would tell someone he has a plethora and then find out that a person has no idea what it means to have a.
I mean,
what?
I see. I'm not following it either. I don't even remember saying plethora. But yeah, I mean, yes, I do know what a plethora is. I'm not looking at the definition right over there. No, I know what a plethora is. I just that question made me question whether or not I know, so I looked it up.
I know that's what.
And I just confirmed, what I thought. It's just it means to have a lot or an excessive amount or something.
Yeah, I don't think you know what that word means. No,
I hate you too.
But hey, for the Flash film, to me, the Flash film is going to be like a very hopefully it's good. I really hope they do it justice because it's Flashpoint, one of my favorite storylines. It's also one of Fresto's favorite storylines. But as we kind of come down to a close here with all of our DC film updates, that was a 3. Oh my God, I can't believe I missed that comic book Craig movies with Steve Martin and oh God, I'm totally spacing the cast right now. Oh dude, I haven't seen
Chevy?
That. What's that?
Chevy?
Oh yeah, Chevy Chase, and then is it? I'm missing the other guy's name. I'm totally spacing it, but the guy who's the boob, the Tooth Fairy movie, Corey.
Yeah, I know.
What's his name?
Saturday Night Live cast. It was Martin Short.
Yeah, Martin Short. I think you're right. Okay. Anyways, as we come down to the end, I just want to say, first off, thank you to everyone who donated through the super chat. You guys are awesome to help support our channel to make us all the better. But let me go ahead. Oh, I agree with you. Batman is the greatest hero, but he needs Flash. He needs Superman to help him out too. Martin Short. Okay. Thank you, Comic Book Craig Movies. I appreciate it. Fresto, thank you. I really do want to say, man, thank you so much for coming on, because you really brought the Flash details that we had, that I'm not aware of, that I think really just takes the Flash movie to a place where it's oh wow, yeah, they could do that. I mean, it could work in that way if they use a little bit of comic book influence. But as we come to the close here, let me roll out the red carpet for you, sir. Tell us what you have coming up in the future on your channel, and where they can find your channel. Like I said, we do have a link in the bottom, in the description, so you guys can check it out and subscribe to his channel if you're into. Yeah,
it has been a pleasure to be here. Geeking out over Flash knowledge is not something I get to do on a very regular basis. So being able to do that and get all of this information out of my head and into someone else's or multiple people's is a fantastic feeling, honestly. Of course, you can find me at Fresto Games on YouTube. I think it's at Fresto Games on Twitter, and I have an Instagram, but I can't remember what its thing is. So we'll just ignore it. Instagram for now. I have links to Twitter and Instagram in all of my videos descriptions. Right now, every Saturday at 5, barring I don't fall behind and miss the upload, it is a new episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. It's a series where my friend C-Dog and I go through every core set of the Yu-Gi-Oh! History, opening one box or 24 packs and building our decks and evolving our decks out of the cards, the digital cards that we get, and then we duel at the end of each episode. We just did this last week was Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy. Next week is Legacy of the Judgment of the Light. Judgment of the Light is next week. And so we are moving along. We are chugging along. We're having a lot of fun with it. That being all said, I am also working on a project in the background. I haven't started it yet, but it's something that I'm looking forward to working on in the future. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome, dude.
You know, I have to say real quick, man, people have been loving you, Fresto. It's been absolutely insane. Your knowledge of the Flash and just it was nonstop too knowledge. So you're like an encyclopedia.
I know it's me when I'm talking about Batman. And exactly. You can't shut me up. I'm not saying we can do that with you, but dude, Fresto, you're like brilliant. Yeah. And to add on to that, if you haven't thought about, doing like some Flash series on your channel, you definitely should, man, because you definitely made me a little more excited and definitely made me become a lot more of a Flash fan. Ezra Miller was a cool Flash, and that's really when I'd seen Flash here and there, but I was never quite interested in him before, Ezra Miller did. Flash and the Zack Snyder's Justice League, but you definitely inspired me to look into Flash a lot more. So you should definitely bring them up in your channel. And I know we will definitely have you come back on this live stream. And obviously there's going to be a lot more information about the Flash movie as we come up. So we'll have to bring you on for those new leaks or stories and stuff like that, but definitely make sure you're inspiring the world to look into a different superhero and someone that is I got chills. Flash is cool, man. You got me. I like Flash.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing that should be coming up soon, hopefully, maybe this semester's wrapping up, so I'll have more time to maybe record this with you, Trey. The Let's Play of the Lego Batman games, because I know you haven't played those yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long time since I played the Lego Batman games, but that'd be dope. We could do a whole series like that. Yeah. And then eventually, if you want to, we could move on to whenever they come out with the Bat Family video game that was supposed to Gotham Knights. And also the Suicide Squad game. Whenever they come out with that, we could totally jam, dude. I'd be game with that. That'd be dope. Let's do it. Well, thank you so much, Fresto, my man. Please check out his channel. Like I said, we have the link in the description, and that way you guys can check it out and see all the cool stuff he is doing. But Fresto, I just want to say, brother, it's good to have you on, man. I know it's been a long time that we were planning this, but I appreciate you taking 3 hours out of your day to hang out with us.
It's well worth it.
I can't believe it's been 3 hours. We've been talking about Flash for like 3 hours, man.
I know time got lost. But seriously, brother, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. All righty. Well, Corey, we'll go ahead and we'll come out of the night. But guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. As we have said, to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we going to 2K, and we can't do it without you guys. And we seriously, for all the super chats today, that was awesome. Really do appreciate it. Corey, this upcoming Friday, 1 year anniversary live stream that we're going to be celebrating. I'm hoping to get a few people on to celebrate with us. We're going to be talking about whatever's going on in DC that day, and maybe just have a good little memory lane for the 1 year anniversary. Thank you guys so much for making a crazy successful year. It's been wonderful, and we just can't thank you guys enough. But definitely check that out. This upcoming Friday, we'll do our live stream. Corey, do you want to say anything?
Just thank you again so much. It's been a hell of a year, and it's been super blast. It's been a blast, man, doing this with you, and it's just so much fun, nerding out with you a few hours every week, and as well as I love editing your videos too. It's been a fun journey, and it's been a blast. And everybody who's followed us along the entire way, and the ones who even just joined us, thank you so much. You guys mean the world to me. And I would love to do a live stream where we are getting some of our super fans on the live stream as well too. So I do have an idea for you for on Friday, so I'm going to have to run that by you at the end of the show. But
okay.
Yeah.
Got some things up your sleeves for Friday.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Oh man, Friday's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. I'm just excited right now. This was such a fun show to have Fresto on, and it's been a blast. But thank you guys so much. I'm your host Trey of the Bat Channel,
and I'm Super Bro Corey.
And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bat time.
Same Bat Channel.
Hey, we did it right this week.
We did. We nailed it. See you later, guys.
Have a good one, guys.